Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. We have more UEFA Women's Champions League action coming your way as Lyon take on Arsenal for a place in the 2025 Champions League final. We already have one confirmed finalist as Barcelona cruised past Chelsea to reach Lisbon in a month's time. Who will join them? Will it be the 8-time winners in Lyon, or will it be the only ever English side to win the Champions League in Arsenal? We've got half an hour of build-up coming your way. We've had a brilliant game so far at Stamford Bridge. Great action in the WSL as well. And tonight it just gets bigger, and a massive opportunity for both of these clubs, and especially Arsenal, to get themselves back into a European final would be a massive, massive moment for Lyon. It's business as usual. They want to be there. They want to get revenge for the fact that Barcelona beat them in the final last year. And Joe Montemurro wants to get back in the winner's circle as a manager and show that him and his side can compete at the very, very sharp end of Europe and can go on and win these kind of titles. But with one English club failing to get there, Arsenal now carry the hopes of the WSL to see an England side in the into the Champions League final. Welcome everyone who is already tuning in. Summer and original Nut Choice already at the start of the stream, and Rosalind and Yichen, welcome all. Yichen says hope that Arsenal could make it though. It's a really tough one for Arsenal. They're they are in a losing position and they've got a lot of work to do to pull it back from being a goal down. But the thing is, they're still in with a chance, and that is something that we did praise them in the first leg. That yes, they lost that game at the Emirates and they probably could have won it. But the fact that they're still in the game is absolutely massive. We saw today how Chelsea being 4-1 down meant they never really had a chance to get back into the game, and then, well, Barcelona blew them out of the water. But in this game, Arsenal have got themselves a really good opportunity. Yes, it's a difficult one, but it's still an opportunity to overturn this tie and to get themselves into the final. It is very, very difficult. They're travelling to a Lyon side who haven't lost at home in the last couple of years. They've been absolutely formidable this season, and they look very, very comfortable to go on and claim 2 or 3 trophies, and Joe Montemurro back in managing in Europe and back with a bang. So it's going to be an uphill battle for the Gunners today, but they've got a chance to do something incredible, to turn Lyon over on their own turf. Would be a massive moment for the club. New and TaylorMade joining it as Barcelona fans. Yes, Barcelona were absolutely brilliant earlier. Chelsea were miles off it. If you want to see us debrief that game, that will be coming on Tuesday, I believe. So we'll cover it more. But overall, Barcelona were absolutely brilliant, and Chelsea were shocking, to be completely honest. And as Taylor says, waiting for either Arsenal or Lyon in the final. Yeah, I think that from a Barcelona point of view, you look at it and probably want Arsenal because, the pedigree, the strength of Lyon, it's a side that no one wants to play against. But the form that Barcelona are in, they're the kind of team that will welcome anybody to that final in May. They will take on whoever wants to challenge them and probably put them to the sword. Arsenal, I think that a lot of people thought that the Gunners didn't have it in them. A lot of people didn't think that, yes, Arsenal were back in the Champions League. Yes, they managed to get to the group stage this year, but I don't think anyone saw them being in this position in the semi-final, going toe-to-toe with Lyon, only 90 minutes away from playing Barcelona in a Champions League final. And I think correct me if I'm wrong, Arsenal fans, but I think if you told an Arsenal fan that you are you're a goal away from going through the Champions League final, you're a goal away from beating Lyon to play Barcelona, I think a lot of people would have thought you were joking at the start of the season. So credit to Arsenal, credit to Rennie Slagers, because they've got themselves into a really good position. Eleonora cheering on Arsenal. Phil, welcome to the stream, says afternoon Phil, and afternoon all. Great to see you all tuning in for this evening's match. It's going to be a very, very well contested game. I don't see... Yes, Lyon are very, very strong at home, but I don't see Arsenal allowing them to run away with it. I think that the Gunners will keep them competitive. They'll stay in the game and they'll push Lyon all the way. Yes, the home side have got that goal margin, but I think in knockout football, yes, a lot of people will say that one goal, leading by a goal is absolutely crucial. But on the other hand, to only be to go into a second leg only a goal down, it will give the losing side a lot of belief, because Arsenal know they're one goal away from sending this game to extra time, and then potentially penalties or whatever happens. But I think that Arsenal, the game plan will be very simple. It will be to turn over the result and then just hold on to whatever they get. If Arsenal go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and they're still pushing, I'd be absolutely stunned. Arsenal have to get what they need and then just hold on to it. I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens if Arsenal score first, because it will put them in a really weird position. I expect that Arsenal will want to play pretty conservative to a certain extent, but once they get that goal, will they just sit in, or if they get that goal, sorry, will they just sit in, or will they keep going for more? That's where the mentality, that's where the interesting thing is going to be for Arsenal. Lucy on the stream says, will the actual match be streamed? Unfortunately, I can't do that. It is on DAZN if you are looking for it, but if you can't find it, then make sure to stick around and join the coverage. I describe the game as easy as possible, as best as possible. But yeah, and join everyone in the stream, getting involved in the chat and seeing what we all think is going to happen in this game. But I do expect that Lyon, on the front foot, will look to cause problems for Arsenal. And similar to what Barcelona did today, if Lyon can get a goal, 2 goals ahead, it will put themselves in a really commanding position. And I think that the Lyon side, clearly demonstrates that going for the kill today. They want to put Arsenal to bed pretty early on. I'll go into the full lineups in a minute, but as Phil mentions, Ada Hegerberg coming in to lead the line. Dumonet, I believe, is dropping into a more deeper role as an attacking midfielder in that midfield area. But it's very, very interesting to see that Lyon, in these big games, are calling upon the experience of the likes of Ada Hegerberg. Most capped player in the Champions League, has scored an incredible number of goals for Lyon in this competition and others. It's a massive player to have for Lyon to lead the line today, and I think that it shows where Lyon's mindset is. It shows how Joe Montemurro is feeling going into the game. Yes, he backs his side to win it, but I like the fact that he is favouring the experience of Hegerberg over. We obviously in the first game, Dumonet usually starts through the line and they bring in another midfielder, but rather than doing that, dropping Dumonet and bringing in Hegerberg not only brings through that experience, but it shows that attacking intent I'm talking about. The fact that Lyon, because Dumonet will, yes, she is technically part of that midfield, but she will play very high when Lyon turn the ball over, when they're pressing. She will work very, very hard. She will be right up there with Hegerberg, putting Arsenal under lots of pressure, and that is going to be a massive thing in this football match. Joe Montemurro has seen that first leg and has realised that by throwing another attacker on, by being more aggressive, that's potentially a way that Lyon can really hurt Arsenal today. And it's going to be something that Arsenal have got to be careful of. Phil saying no idea how we can deal with Hegerberg in the air, and this is what I mean. Dealing with Ada Hegerberg is a very, very difficult task for any defender on the planet. For Arsenal, they're going to have to be smart about it, and that you Phil, they're questioning how you deal with her in the air. Well, the question is that I think the way to do it is that you're not going to, realistically, you have to be honest with yourselves and say that 8 times out of 10, Ada Hegerberg is going to win that header and is going to get a shot on target. So you have to cut the problem further up the line. And for Arsenal, they have to stop Lyon in those wide areas. They caused so many problems, Lyon, in that first leg, especially down their right-hand side. Arsenal's left-hand side, Lyon's right-hand side. Diani, over the top of McCabe, had loads of room to work with. And if Diani gets the ball out there, with Hegerberg starting as well today, not only can Diani cut in and cause problems herself, but she can take the ball wide, play on the touchline and cross it into Ada Hegerberg. Arsenal have got to be better at defending wide areas, and this is where a big thing comes to me with Katie McCabe starting at left back once again today. Have Arsenal really learnt their lesson? Because for 90 minutes, McCabe was Arsenal's weakness. That's where Lyon were getting all their joy. They were drawing McCabe out. She'd get too high, and then Lyon would just put the ball over the top. And Kadital Diani was in so much room. And I expected to see a change from Arsenal. I thought they might adjust. Maybe you play Catley at left back and bring in someone else at centre half, or you unless it's tactically. But I'd be very surprised if they're going to tell McCabe to drop deeper, because it just won't happen, because she is naturally an attacking and offensive fullback. So I do worry that potentially it's a little bit naive from Arsenal. It's a little bit... It could be pretty costly if they haven't learned their lesson, if they haven't watched back that first leg and realised where their weakness was. Because McCabe starting again says to me that they haven't really... They're not prepared to deal with Lyon, that Lyon are still going to cause them the same threat. But it will be interesting to see what Arsenal can do to nullify that, because if they don't stop the wide areas, if they don't stop that ball in, then either Lyon are going to cause them loads of problems, or Lyon are going to put the ball centrally, and then the likes of Hegerberger, they're waiting to put the ball into the back of the net. But Arsenal, I think we have to be positive towards them. Yes, they did lose that first leg, but there were some really positive signs in there. They had chances to win it. I think in the second half they're the better side, and they've got to take belief from that. They've got to take momentum from that, because they showed in that 45 minutes that they can really cause some problems for Lyon. And if they can get on top of them, if Arsenal can control the ball like they did in that first leg, use that possession and just be a little bit braver, then I really think they could reap the rewards from having all of the ball. Because what we see of Arsenal, we see it time and time again, and we especially saw it in the first leg, was they had all of the ball. And I get that it's the first leg of a Champions League semi-final and they're playing against Lyon, and they were being careful. But what we saw from Arsenal is they had all the ball, but were just a little bit too safe. There were a lot of moments in the game where that risky ball was on, that braver pass was on, and Arsenal chose to go backwards and chose to play it safe. And while I understand that at times, I think on the other hand, you have to use those opportunities sometimes. You have to take that risk, and that will be very big today, to see if Arsenal are going to be a little bit braver. I think the fact they're losing on aggregate means they are going to have to be a little bit bolder. They're going to have to take on that risky pass. If they've got an option to play a 5-yard backwards pass or a 15-yard ball over the top in an attacking phase, I think they've got to take that risk. They've got to try and get that ball forward, try and catch Lyon out by using that passing range to try and cause some problems. Now, I talk about the passing range, and I think it's important now to look at the lineups. And I think that a lot of people were expecting to see changes for Arsenal, and we have seen changes for Arsenal, but potentially not the ones we're expecting. I'm going to start with the away side, just because we're talking about Arsenal. Changes for both sides, but we will start with the Gunners. A huge one, and I think a massively positive moment for Arsenal. Daphne van Domselaar is starting in goal today. She's back between the sticks to replace Manuela Zinsberger. And although Zinsberger didn't do much wrong in that first leg, having a goalkeeper like Van Domselaar in a game like this can make the difference. Because the Van Domselaar has the ability of the elite goalkeepers. She has the ability to, if Arsenal need it, to make game-defining saves. Van Domselaar is the kind of goalkeeper that keeps you in the game. And I think that her being back fit and ready to play today is absolutely crucial for the Gunners. It is then an unchanged back four of Fox, Williamson, Catley and Katie McCabe. As I said, Katie McCabe going to be a key part of this performance for Arsenal, both defensively and offensively. If she can cause Lyon problems in the final third, that's going to be great. But if she's going to get caught out at the back, then potentially that could be an area of the pitch that really hurts Arsenal. Looking across the midfield three then, it is still going to be a pivot of Caurente and Little, with Frida Marnham playing further forward as that attacking midfielder. Then on the right hand side it's Caitlin Ford, on the left hand side it's Chloe Kelly, and leading the line is Alessia Russo. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that midfield then, because that's the area I really want to highlight. Now, I think that Arsenal in that first leg were too slow, they were too passive and too safe. And I expected to see a change in the pivot. What we saw was Caurente really struggled in that deeper role, playing alongside Little. She really struggled under the pressure, just couldn't get the ball out and got caught on the ball a lot. For Kim Little as well, it was just too slow. I like Kim Little. I think she's an absolute warrior. I think she's a player that, as the captain, will dig in and will, keep her side going and is that motivator and is a brilliant leader. But in a Champions League semi-final, her passing range, her the way she progresses the ball just isn't good enough, and we saw that last Saturday. Was that whenever Little got on the ball, the game was slowed down. She would always play the safe pass, and even from a neutral point of view, it was really frustrating to watch because Arsenal were in some great positions in that first leg, and rather than play that ball forwards, Kim Little decided to recycle it and go backwards. And again, while I think that helps you at times, in these kind of games, in knockout football, if you get the opportunity to spring forwards, you have to take it. And I think that the fact that Renée Slagers has stuck with the same pivot of Little and Caldente could be costly for Arsenal today. I think Vouty, I don't think I'd have gone Vouty, just because, again, I think she's brilliant at giving you control, but Arsenal don't need control. They don't need more control. They need to be more progressive. They need to be more attacking. And that's why I think Kyra Cooney-Cross should have started today. I really do think that, I'm surprised, to be honest, that she isn't in the starting 11. I think that she's really good at progressing the ball, and Cooney-Cross is so good, not just her passing range, but she can drive it forward. And I thought that could be a massive tool for Arsenal today, but they haven't decided to use it, and I think that could let them down. Cooney-Cross is so attacking minded. She's much more positive with the ball than Kim Little is, and if Arsenal, because it's all good and well if Kim Little keeps Arsenal 65% of the ball, but it doesn't mean anything if they don't score. It doesn't mean anything if they don't get the ball into the final third and cause Lyon problems. And I do think that could let Arsenal down today. Is that they don't have. I look at that pivot and I think they're going to really struggle once again. Not struggle to progress the ball, but they're going to struggle to progress it as often as they should. They're going to play it too safe. But we'll have to wait and see, because Little is, you did used to be a very attacking midfielder, a very forward-thinking midfielder, but I just think in that first leg, she was way too safe. Let's talk about the other change then for Arsenal, with Chloe Kelly coming into the side, Beth Mead dropping out, and Ford going to the right, Kelly coming in on the left. I think it's a really, really good decision. I like this one. I don't think Beth Mead had much of a say in that first leg, and Chloe Kelly, in an Arsenal shirt this season, has looked really, really strong. It does mean you have to take Caitlin Ford off her favoured side, but I don't think Arsenal are going to complain too much about that. But what I really like about Kelly is that it's the speed that she goes about things. We see too many players that take too long to make a decision, take too long to release the ball. What I really like about Chloe Kelly, and she's done it time and time again, and for Arsenal, we saw it in the Real Madrid game, the second leg at the Emirates against Real Madrid was the one that really proved it to me, was that Kelly is so decisive with her passing and when to shoot, and she gets that decision right. She doesn't take 3 touches and then lose the ball. The amount of times the ball get knocked out to her, she takes a touch and she swings it in. And she doesn't think twice about it. She just puts it in the box and tries to cause problems. And I really like that from Kelly. I like the fact that she's direct. I like the fact that she tries to cause problems for opposition. And I think that is something Arsenal have got to use. Say, get that ball out wide to Kelly and get her running at Ellie Carpenter. Get her causing problems. Get Kelly putting that ball in and see if you can win the header. Yes, that's difficult because, well, I'll mention the Lyon lineup again, but a certain really tall, incredibly world-class French centre-half is back in the 11. But Arsenal, they've got to put more pressure on Lyon. They've got to cause more problems, and they've really got to use the strength they've got. I thought Russo really struggled in the first leg, just didn't get involved. But again, with her quality, if Arsenal can get her on the ball today, she will cause problems. I think that Kelly, again, get the ball out to her wide, get her running direct, get her causing problems for that Lyon backline, and it might just benefit, and it might just cause enough for Arsenal to get that goal that they need. Phil says Cooney-Cross and Vouty solve most of the problems from the first leg. Vouty can cover Catley and McCabe, and Kaya progresses the ball well. Yeah, I completely agree. You've hit the nail on the head there, so it baffles me as to why Caldente and Little are starting again. The fact that neither Vouty and Cooney-Cross are starting is really poor. The fact they're not both starting is also confusing. David Fraser on the screen says Arsenal need more scorers than Russo, and says I hope Palova and Kafaji get minutes. Yeah, I'll start with your Russo point. I think Arsenal, when relied upon, do have players that can provide in the big moments. I think Caitlin Ford's had a very, very good season. I think Kelly is another one who, when Arsenal need her, she can get those assists, get those goal contributions that can win you games. But I do agree. I think that Arsenal do have goal scorers, but they don't have anyone with the clinicality and the accuracy of Russo. Russo, if she gets a chance today, it will cause problems for Lyon. It will either be on target or it will go in, because that's the kind of season Russo's having. She's been incredibly clinical with her chances. It's the decision making's been superb, and her all round forward play has been absolutely brilliant. And if Russo's on it today, I don't think she was 100% fit, to be honest, in that first leg, but I think now she has another week of training. If she's at 110%, Russo has the ability to fire Lyon into the final here, and I truly mean that. If Russo's on her day, Lyon are really going to struggle today, because that's the kind of level that Alessia Russo plays at. That's the kind of football that she has been producing this season. So it's going to be interesting to see what Arsenal can do in those attacking areas, but they've got to try and cause some issues, and they've got to really put some pressure onto that Lyon side. I mentioned Lyon there. Let's talk about their starting 11 then, because we've ran through the Arsenal one. Let's talk Lyon, because they're the home side. They're the one who go into this game winning and are looking to get into their 12th Champions League final, which is an incredible number. But can they make it happen? Let's see. The 11 then for the home side. Endler holds her place in net. Had a real mixed game in that first leg. Brilliantly denied Russo at times, made a brilliant save on Marnham as well, but then gave away that penalty on Williamson and was slightly erratic towards the end of the game. It is then a back four of Carpenter, Gilles, Wendy Renard and Simone Batcher. Wendy Renard is back, she's fit, and she is starting for Lyon. That is a massive boost to the 8-time champions. I don't think that Sombaf did too much wrong in the first leg, but having a player of the ability and of the pedigree of Wendy Renard back in your starting 11 is only a positive thing. Across the midfield three then, it is Heaps, Egarola and Dumonet. I spoke about earlier, Dumonet dropping in to that deeper role, and that is because leading the line for Lyon tonight is Ada Hegerberg, and she has Chawinga on her left-hand side and Diani on her right. It is a Lyon side that is full of quality. It is a side that know how to win these games, that belong in Champions League finals. And I do think that, again, if with the experience in the side, they've really got to use that. I think Joe Montemiro's got it right today. He's using that experience. He's leaning on Hegerberg. He's leaning on Renard, who come back into the starting 11 today to get Lyon across the line. They're in a really nice position, and this is the position you put yourself when in the first leg you go away from home and you win the game. You then go into the second leg with a brilliant opportunity, because you're at home and all you've got to do is just hold on to what you've got. Are Lyon going to do that? Absolutely not. It would be a daft suggestion to say that they're going to turn up and sit deep here. The starting 11, how aggressive they've gone, shows to me that they are going for the kill. They want to put Arsenal to bed in this first half. They want to score 1 or 2 goals and completely take Arsenal out of the equation. It's down to the Gunners to not let them do that. Rise and welcome to the stream, says Robina of Impto. It is actually Oasis, so you're wrong on both counts. But yes, trying to keep hydrated on what is a very, very warm day. And it's only going to get hotter because this action is going to be very, very spicy. And I do think that it's really good to see a competitive semi-final. I think Chelsea disappointed us all massively by not putting up a fight against Barcelona. But this semi-final, it's close, it's competitive. It's the type of game that can get heated. It's got experienced players who know how to win these kind of games. And it's exciting, to be honest. I'm so glad to be able to watch this game from a neutral point of view, because it has all the factors. It has all the potential to be an absolutely brilliant game and to be the kind of semi-final that we're talking about for a very, very long time. I think Sapphire says, hopefully the Arsenal players haven't seen the Chelsea result because they might not want to go to the final. Yes, I think that Arsenal will know, because whether they know or not, I don't. But I think that it's a type of thing that would spur them on, though, because now Chelsea are out. Arsenal got a massive opportunity to get one over Chelsea once again. You know, the Gunners are already the only English side to win the Champions League. If they can get into the final in a year that everyone thought Chelsea would, if it's Arsenal instead, that is a massive, massive kick to the gonads. It's to their rivals, and I'm sure they would love to be able to pull that off, not only for themselves, but to annoy Chelsea fans, basically, is what Arsenal would get. They'd get the bragging rights. But They've got to do the job first. They've got to overturn this 2-1 deficit away from home, and it is not going to be easy because Lyon are up for this. They're in front of a massive home crowd who will be spurring them on all the way. But Arsenal, they have showed in that first leg that they can put up a really good fight and they can take the game to Lyon. And if Arsenal can get that control back, if they can get on the ball, then they will get opportunities to cause Lyon issues. And I think the first goal is absolutely crucial in this match. If Arsenal score first, it is game on, and suddenly things look very interesting. If Lyon score first, then I think that if Olympique Lyonnais go 2 goals ahead in a Champions League semi-final, I think it's very hard to come back from that one. But Arsenal will believe Lyon, all they've got to do is hold on to this 2-1 lead, and they will find themselves in Lisbon taking on Barcelona in a month's time, both sides in the tunnel. And this is the moment as a player where you really feel it. Champions League semi-final second leg, away from home especially. It's exciting. It's nervy, but it's also exciting. But yeah, we have got 5 minutes until kickoff. So if you are now tuning in, make sure to get your prediction in. 133 of you in here at the moment. So make sure to get involved in the live chat. Have your say in the poll as well. Let me know what you think the scoreline is going to be with your goal scorers as well. Because both sides are now entering the pitch. It's Lyon versus Arsenal. 90 minutes away from deciding our Champions League final. Or 120 minutes if Arsenal have got other ideas. But a massive opportunity for both sides to put themselves into another European final. And Lyon, they want to get revenge for last year. Arsenal, they want to get back where they belong. They want to prove to everyone that they can get to these kind of finals. They can win these kind of games against the elite of the world. But yeah, make sure to get your predictions in. I'll do my prediction first. I'm going to go for I'm going to say I think Arsenal will win 2-1 in 90 minutes. It will go to extra time. And then it will be a Ada Hegerberg header in the 113th minute to win the game for Lyon. And I apologise if any Arsenal fans are tuning in because that would be absolute heartbreak. But I just think that it's going to be such a close game. But when I look at the quality of both sides, when I look at how strong Lyon can be, I just think they'll get it over the line. So I think Arsenal to win over 90 minutes. It will go to extra time. And then Lyon will win it in the extra time. Phil says Hart says Arsenal 3-1, but Heads says Lyon will win big and Hegerberg will bag at least 2. Well, I think if you're a fan, you've got to back your side, haven't you? You've got to hope you're going to win. You've got to believe that you can get something from this game. It's going to be difficult for Arsenal, but it's difficult, not impossible. And that is the way they will believe. They will back themselves to get a result. It's a really strong home support, but it's also a very, very good away support for Arsenal. They've got a lot of fans around the ground here in Lyon, and they've got to use that. They didn't use the home crowd to get the win over the line in the first leg, but they've got to now try and represent their club and get their club through to another Champions League final, and that would be absolutely crucial for Arsenal. Just before kickoff then, if you are tuning in for the first time, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would massively help us out. We are pushing now all the way to try and hit as many milestones as possible as we approach the end of this season, as we get to these crunch games. We want to have as many of you as possible tuning in, and we've got the Euros this summer, so make sure to hit that subscribe button just before we get underway in this semi-final. Lyon, 8-time winners of the Champions League, are looking to face off against Barcelona for back-to-back seasons, are looking to go and win their 9th title. For Arsenal, they've only got one, but they would love to be back in the final and love to have the opportunity to go and win a second title. And that would be huge. I mean, if they pulled it off this season, that would be incredible. But I think that it's a long shot. They've got a lot of work to do. But even to reach the final will be a massive achievement in a season where you sack your manager and you have problems left, right and centre. You have a torrid start to the campaign. To bounce back in the way they have, to cause, to take the game to as many teams as they have, to battle with the world's elite, to reach the semi-final is an achievement in itself for Arsenal this season. If in 90 minutes' time they walk off this football pitch and they're Champions League finalists, that would be a huge moment for the Gunners. Well, I think it would stun a lot of people if they were to really to pull this off. NKT one of the streams says, "Where's the game?" If you are wanting to tune to the game, it is on DAZN. But if you can't find it on DAZN or you can't watch it in your country, then please feel free to stick around and tune into this coverage and get involved in the live chat. But both sides with it's a lot riding on this. Lyon will not want to be knocked out. And I know that sounds silly to say, but they want to get back their hands on that Champions League trophy. For too long now, for the last 3 years now, it's been Barcelona's trophy, and it's been the Spanish side that are the giants of Europe, that are the best side in the world. And for Lyon, they will hate that. They were the big side in Europe, a few years back. They were the side who won Champions League on top of Champions League on top of Champions League, and they were unbeatable. But that crown has been taken off them by Barcelona, and now they want it back. They want to get revenge, and it starts with games, I'd say. They need to get themselves into the final. They're 90 minutes away from it, but Arsenal are going to have their say. We're about to get underway here in France for the Champions League semi-final second leg. Summer's nervous. Yi Chen's having a great time laughing at the height difference between Renard and Little. It will be Kelly to get us underway. Arsenal kicking from right to left in their black away strip, which is quite nice to see. Kelly then, for Arsenal, will knock it back eventually. And this tension is building. Referee is making as much suspense as possible. Lyon leading as that pack of four with Hegerberg and Dumonet ready to press. You can already see it looks more like a 4-2-4. It will be a 4-3-3. Kelly gets us underway then. And this Champions League semi-final will be concluded today. It's all or nothing now for these two sides. They have 90 minutes to either send themselves through to the final or go crashing out one game away from glory. Arsenal, though, will want to settle down early, settle into their rhythm, and try and cause Lyon give Lyon something to think about. It's Fox down the right-hand side in the French sun. Goes back to Ford. Ford, good burst of pace, does get the ball in. Blocked, though, and that will go out for a Arsenal throw. But I'm really intrigued to see how Arsenal operate in these wide areas. Kelly all out on that right-hand side, Ford on the left-hand side. If Kelly can get the ball to Kelly and get that ball in the box, they can really put Lyon under the pump. Now, Sam says, why is the far side of the stadium so bright? Yeah, I was going to comment on that. It makes it really difficult to see who's running down that right-hand side because the sun is just glaring on a slither of the pitch. Arsenal corner then will be swung into the box. Plenty of aerial threat. It's not a bad ball in. It's deep towards Williamson. Taken away by Egarola. Here is Little. Back to Williamson. Now the Arsenal skitter puts it in the box. It's flicked through. Brought down by Kelly. Marnham has a swing and a miss. Russo tries to keep it alive but can only get it to Dumonet. And now Lyon will look to break forwards. It's Ada Hegerberg on the charge. Goes to Diani. Bit behind her. Loses a bit of momentum. And that will allow Arsenal to get back in. But Diani still going. Cut off by Caitlin Ford. Sun says, is that the sun? It looks white. Yeah, that is just the sun. It is just a very bright day, clearly. But yes, weirdly that it only just about covers that tiny section of pitch. Good footle from Arsenal, 1-2 touch stuff. Gets the ball into Russo, who tries to turn Wendy Renard, but Renard says no. Really good defending that from Renard, and she's a massive boost, that Lyon backline. Good footle down the right-hand side from Lyon. Ball over the top into Diani. Diani will put it into the area. It's a good ball. Dumonet just can't quite get there, and it's cleared away by Fox. Skimming off the forehead of Dumonet, I believe. Inches away from a good attempt. Arsenal now the ones coming forward. Marnham with a heavy touch. Big tackle in there from Egarola to win it back. End-to-end stuff, though. Neither side really calming down. I think that shows the intent in this football match. Arsenal are coming out. They're coming out hard because they know they need a goal. But Lyon aren't the side to sit in and hold on to what they've got. They want to score. They want to take the game to Arsenal. Poor pass around the corner from Egarola, cut out by Williamson. Her pass is equally as poor though, and that will run through to Wendy Renard. Renard to Batcher. Batcher into Heaps. Heaps to to Hegerberg. Poor pass though, and it's pounced on by Chloe Kelly. England international goes back to Fox. Here is Kelly. Sama says, kind of nervous with Renard back in the team. Yeah, Leon are so much stronger with Renard back on the pitch. Just really good defensively, an absolute brick wall. Will put her body on the line for her side and will lead by example, and that is a dangerous thing for Arsenal. I think that it's a type of thing. Again, I talk about game-changing players. Renard's the type of player who can win this game for Leon. Not in the sense that she's scoring loads of goals and winning them the game on the scoreline, but in terms of those tackles, in terms of those last-ditch interceptions. Poor pass from Gilles, though, pounced on by Ford, and now Arsenal got a good opportunity. Caitlin Ford pokes it to Russo, who has to go one more to Little. Will have a shot away. That's a huge save. What a save from Endler. And Arsenal early doors are causing problems for the home side. It's a poor pass from Gilles. It's pounced on by Caitlin Ford. Arsenal cut it back superbly. Russo lays it into Kim Little, who forces a brilliant stop out of Christine Endler. Diving down to her right-hand side. That is a solid save. And a massive opportunity early doors for Arsenal. Corner then for the Gunners. A chance to keep this early pressure on. They've started well, Arsenal. It's been a good first 5 minutes. Ball in. It's not a bad one. It's not dealt with by Ender and it's headed in. It's a goal at Arsenal level. It's Frida Marlin with the header. And the Gunners have already put that deficit to bed. It's a beautiful corner. Ender doesn't deal with it. And the Gunners are back level on aggregate. A brilliant start. It's a great header. Endler, though, with a huge blunder. And Arsenal lead on the night and are level on aggregate. And that is a huge goal. I said the first goal will be massive. And it's brilliant from Arsenal. Endler makes an absolute meal of it. Comes out for it and gets nowhere near it. Oh, no, it's an own goal. Oh, wow, that is a shocker. Wow. Watch that. If you watch that back, the ball's put in. It's Batcher who heads it into the back of her own goalkeeper and it goes off Endler and goes in the back of the net. I thought it was a brilliant header from Marnham, but it is an own goal from Endler in the end, who initially made a meal of it and then it gets headed to her. But Arsenal fans will not care. 5 minutes played here in Lyon and the Gunners are back level already. I mean, they've given the goal to Russo. Don't know how on earth they've managed to do that. But it will definitely be an own goal. But yeah, as Phil says, tragic from Endler. Yeah, it's an absolute shocker. For a goalkeeper of her quality to make that kind of error in a Champions League semi-final is shocking. You know, she gave away a penalty in the first leg, which led to Arsenal's only goal. And now she's absolutely handed them there by scoring an own goal. But a brilliant start from Arsenal. It's exactly what they needed to do. They need to come out in this game. They need to be brave. They need to take the game to Lyon. And that's exactly what they've done in the opening 5 minutes. And credit to them. Because, you know, they could have easily played it safe and just tried to nick, you know, something fortunate. But no, they've come out, they've been bold, they've been brave, and they're reaping the rewards from it. But yeah, brilliant celebrations in the chat from the Arsenal fans. A massive goal, because that now levels the tie-up, and it makes it very even. Because they're in a brilliant position to try and use this momentum and go get another goal. Here is McCabe. McCabe dispossessed, but it will go out for a throw. Arsenal will get it back. McCabe to Little. And, well, if you're Renee Slagers, that is the dream start. Although Lyon are looking to change that. Here's Diani down the right-hand side, up against McCabe, gets the better of her, puts it in. Was deflected though, will go out for a Lyon corner. But yeah, if you were Renee Slagers, you woke up this morning and the one thing you were hoping for was an early goal to settle the nerves, to level the tie up early doors. and to really put the pressure onto Lyon, and that's exactly what they've done. They've come out with a point to prove, Arsenal, and they've done very, very well so far. They've got a corner. Now Lyon. Ball to be put in by Batcher. It's not a bad one. Dealt with well by Van Domselaar, although she doesn't end up spilling it. Renard's running around and puts it over the bar. And, well, a merit by Endler led to a goal, and Van Domselaar got away with one there. Perhaps a little rusty, been out injured the last couple of weeks, and just made a complete mess of that. Juggling it almost in her own penalty area. It falls to Renard, who should do better with this shot. Really should do better. But Van Domselaar just misjudged it, didn't play it properly, but she got a hand to it, which was more important than not getting there at all. Arsenal back on the ball. Good turn, though, by Carpenter, and she wins it back as well. Driving inside is forced backwards to Renard. Here is Diani, dispossessed by McCabe, who now comes down the left-hand side, and Arsenal looking to cause more problems. Marnham back to Katie McCabe. Put under pressure by Diani, but bursts away. This is good from McCabe, and then she's fouled by the French winger. Referee, though, says no, and will allow play to continue. Did look like McCabe was fouled there, but referee didn't think so. Here is Catley under all sorts of pressure from Hegerberg and makes a complete mess of it. Really good stuff from the experienced Lyon forwards just to win her side a throw. Would allow Carpenter to come and take it. A energetic and frantic first 10 minutes, but that will suit Arsenal more than it will Lyon. And yes, I know Arsenal like control, but in the position they're in, when you come into a second leg away from home and you're trailing, if the first 10 minutes are a little bit nervy, that's exactly what you want to see, because it's they've scored a goal. That's exactly why they want to see that. For people asking where the game is, it is on DAZN in certain places. If you can't get it though, then do feel free to stick around and join this coverage. Get involved in the live chat. Have your say as to how you think this game's going to go. It's why we exist, to try and provide coverage for people who can't watch it. Arsenal coming forwards once again. Here it is Caitlin Ford. Ford out wide to Kelly. Brilliant football from the Gunners in the first 10 minutes. Here's Chloe Kelly down the right-hand side. Puts it in towards Marnham, but cleared away by Vanessa Gilles. Ball will go back out to Chloe Kelly. Uses Fox. Fox into Little. And there we go. That's what I was talking about earlier. Kim Little picks the ball up, and rather than carry on the attacking move, goes backwards. Though Arsenal have got it back now into the final third. Now they opt to go backwards once again. Here's Caldente. Caldente to McCabe. Now into Caitlin Ford. Ford running at Carpenter. Directly cuts inside. Has a go, and it's saved well by Endler. But really dangerous from Caitlin Ford. Picking up that ball and being direct. Taking on Carpenter and beating her. And it wasn't a bad effort, but well watched and well claimed by Endler in the Lyon net. Here is Diani. Skipping past one, skipping past two, and looks to lay it into Hegerberg. Not enough on it, though. Williamson will go back to our goalkeeper. Van Domselaar to McCabe. Caldente, Little. Back to Caldente. Here is Leah Williamson. And now this is the important phase, because Arsenal have got their goal. They can now settle down. They can now, build up their possession, build up their control, and just build a rhythm into this match. And that is the luxury of going a goal ahead. If they were still trailing, they'd have to keep pushing. They'd have to still be putting that pressure on Lyon. But now they can just calm it down a little bit, get themselves on the ball, and keep moving the ball their way they're moving it right now. Because here's Catley down the left-hand side, looking for Russo, but that will go into the hands of Endler. And Lyon will look to move it quickly now. Heaps tries to play it over the top to Chawinga. Not enough on it, though. And it will be intercepted by Fox. Fox now gives it to Caldente. Looks to lay it into Chloe Kelly. But that is cut out by Wendy Renard. Renard now looks to build a move for Lyon. Chawinga. Heaps. Lovely little body feint to get past Little, but the pass isn't good enough. And Arsenal now look to come the other way. Caldente to McCabe. McCabe, lovely switch out wide to find Kelly. Kelly could have used the overlap of Fox, but opted against it. Here's Little. Little, back to Chloe Kelly. Goes back to Williamson, swings it in, intercepted by Egarola. Her clearance, though, only falls as far as the Arsenal centre-halves. And that's the problem. Lyon can't get out at the moment. Really good stuff from Arsenal. They're getting on the ball. Every single outfielder is in the Lyon half. That's a good ball over the top to Marnham. Tries to play it into Russo, but cut out by Renard again. And that's what Wendy Renard does when she's on the football pitch. She just gets in the way of absolutely everything. Makes it so difficult for any player to get past her. You try and play the ball over her, she'll head it away. You try and play the ball through her, she'll intercept it. You try and run past her, she'll win the ball back. And Arsenal done very well. Arsenal doing well though to keep it away from her. That's the way you beat Renard, is to just take her out of the equation. If you try and take on Wendy Renard, you're not going to win. But if you take her out of the game and you target the other defenders, that's where you're going to get your fortune. Or a set piece, because if Batcher keeps heading it into her own goalkeeper and it bounces in, then Arsenal will have a great evening. As Phil says, brilliant start from Arsenal. Hope we can keep this up. It's been a really good start from the Gunners. As you say, last week when they were on top, they didn't use it. When they had the momentum, they didn't take that advantage and score more. They didn't take I don't think they maximised the quality and the opportunities they had in that first leg. They've got to do something differently tonight. If they get the opportunities, they've got to take them. While they're on top, they have to try and get more goals. Because if they go 3-2, 4-2 up, then suddenly Lyon are in a really tough position. But René Slager's absolutely delighted with that first Arsenal goal. Muted celebrations, though, I like that. Keeping composure, keeping that cool, which is important in games like this. 15 minutes played, then another Arsenal corner. Although the referee isn't happy that the ball is in the circle. I mean, I don't know how she's managed to decide that, because she was stood on the other side of the pitch. Great eyes, this referee. Now Kelly will get to take the corner. Ball in. Not a bad one again. It's on Endler, who can only punch it as far as Little. Looked to lay it into Fox, but just got it wrong. And now Arsenal will recycle it. Here is Williamson. Swings the ball in, but that is over here and will go out for a goal kick. Dana Afifi went onto the stream. Says, how was the first goal scored? It was a corner. Arsenal corner. Endler came for it and missed it. And then Batcher, who tried to head it away. She headed it into the back of her own goalkeeper and it bounced in. So it was a Christine Endler own goal. But yeah, Batcher headed it into the back of her own goalkeeper and it fell over the line. And Ole Yinka on the stream says, which link can I watch the football? I haven't got a link, but if you are looking for the game, it is on DAZN. But again, if you can't find anywhere to watch the game, then feel free to stick around and join this coverage and get involved in the chat. Good start though, as people are mentioning, for Arsenal. They've warmed into this game nicely. 64% of the ball. They already lead by 1-0. Almost the perfect start, you feel, if you are an Arsenal fan. But the problem is, up against sides like Lyon, you have to take advantage while you're on top. You have to use this, because if they don't, as they learned in the first leg, Lyon will punish you. And again, Arsenal are playing well, but can they try and get a second goal? Can they give themselves a lead on aggregate? Gilles. Carpenter. Lyon just enjoying a bit of the ball themselves now. Here is Endler. Back to Renard, who now goes back to her goalkeeper. Gilles. This is better from Lyon, just getting a bit of control themselves, being a bit more composed in possession. Long ball now, tries to find Tiani, but that's cut out by Katie McCabe. McCabe, so far, has been a lot more disciplined. She's sitting a lot deeper. And I question whether Arsenal had learnt their lesson from the first leg, and it looks like they have, because McCabe is sat a good 5-10 yards deeper than she was in that first leg. And that is huge because basically it's stopping Lyon getting that ball into Diani. It's stopping them just playing it over the top into loads of space. Throw from Carpenter, cut out by Kelly. One back though by Egarola. Here is Batcher to swing it in. It's not a bad one. Dumone keeps it alive at the back post, almost too alive, and hits it too hard. Has Egarola kept it in? No, she hasn't, and that will be out for an Arsenal throw. Just overhit there by Dumone. She looked to cut it back, and just got it all wrong. And ends up conceding a throw-in. 428 votes in the polling chat. Then if you haven't voted yet, do make sure to get involved. 36% of you thinking that Lyon will make the final. 64% of people, though, thinking that Arsenal will win this semi-final and will be in Lisbon in that Champions League final, taking on Barcelona, who cruised past Chelsea earlier today. Arsenal, though, in a good position to at least challenge in this set. And that was the big thing. When trailing by a goal to nil, it was very important they didn't concede first. So to get that first goal, it is a really good start. Because we're approaching 20 minutes and Arsenal have been by far the better side. Lyon really haven't caused them many problems. Here is Dumone. Her pass is cut out by Caldente. You can't quite keep it in. So it will be a Lyon throw on. But good for us. It's been better. Better in the pivot. Lyon have been brave. Arsenal have got a really good... What they've done is they've now got the balance between being too brave and too safe. They've fine-tuned their performance, and so far it's been very, very strong. It's just whether they can keep that up without Lyon responding. Switch from Renard into Carpenter. That is cut out and cleared by Katie McKay. Really good defending. And that's what I mean. By McKay sitting 10 yards deeper, it means that she's there to cut that ball out. Because if she isn't there, then suddenly that ball goes straight through to Carpenter and she's got space to use. Here is Diani. Loses it to Little. And now Arsenal will go backwards. Saeed on the stream asking, so will the match go into extra time than penalties if the score remains as it is? Yes, it will. In the Champions League, if the ties are level after 90 minutes in aggregate, it will go to extra time and then it will go to penalties if it is still level. But yeah, as it stands, we're going to extra time. We do have 70 minutes to play before that. But yes, as it stands, we would need an additional 30 minutes to decide a winner. And if we don't get a winner after an extra time, we go straight to penalties. And I'm sure there's a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat who would love to watch a penalty shootout tonight. Someone says, do you think Cooney Cross isn't playing due to the lack of experience compared to Kim? I think it's a factor. Yeah. Here's Diani. Big tackle from McKay. Puts it out for a corner. But yeah, I do think it's a factor. But I've watched Cooney Cross. I think she's a very, very good player. I think she's got the ability to play at the high level. And she's really good at progressing the ball. So I am surprised that she's not playing today. But I see you. It's a very good point. Kim Little, very experienced. She is the Arsenal captain, a brilliant leader. Is very good at just calming the side down and giving them a little bit of control if they need it. And to be fair, I think she's been more positive in this game, Little. I thought things were too slow and a little bit safe in the first leg. Corner from Lyon. It's a good one towards Renard. It's not quite cleared by Arsenal. We'll go back to Batcher, who looks to play it to Chawinga. Here is Dumone. Dumone looking to find Heaps. That pass is blocked though. Here is Carpenter. Swings into the box for Lyon. It's headed goalwards and headed wide by, I think it was Hegerberg with the last touch. A mix of her and I think Gilles might have actually been the last one to flick it on. But better from Lyon. They're getting the ball out wide and they're starting to probe in those areas. Safa says, boy, is your brother in mourning or is he not back from the game yet? Yeah, he is not back from the game yet. And he won't be for, still a couple hours. But yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't stream the Barcelona the game earlier because, as Sapphire says there, Jack, the other host, for those wondering, went to the game and I was busy this morning. But still got back in time to stream this game this evening. And I'm glad we did because I'm glad I did because it's been a very, very competitive first 22, 23 minutes of this Champions League semi-final. And Arsenal are proving that once again they can challenge and they can play against the best in the world. And to be level on aggregate at this point in the match is really strong, and the fact they're leading on the night is even stronger. Lyon playing themselves into problems, and Arsenal pick it off once again. Here is Catley. Summer doesn't fancy penalties. Fair enough. I personally think penalties would be really exciting. Here is Calrente, gets caught on the ball. And now Lyon have it back. Gianni Egarola. Back to Carpenter. Into Heaps. Heaps, heavy touch. One back by Ford, but it's a messy moment and Heaps gets away with it. Carpenter now goes back to Gilles, who will go all the way back to Endler. Endler, does she fancy the long ball? Not at the moment. She faked it. Now she will go long, looking to play Hegerberg. Hegerberg does get the flick on, looking to just flick it onto Chewinga, but it didn't run. And it was stopped by McCabe, who then decided to randomly go for afters with Chewinga. Arsenal are playing on. They've got the ball. But McCabe basically, she ran into space, played the pass, and then just decided to shoulder barge Chewinga. Got away with it. Didn't get caught, but a random thing to do. Arsenal still moving the ball. Here is McCabe. Being hassled backwards by Carpenter, and that one is a free kick. Yeah, a little bit of a laugh and a smirk there between McCabe and Carpenter. As Carpenter brings her down, McCabe then takes... While McCabe's going down, she just takes Carpenter out with her. And I think quite smartly, Renee Slagers has just pulled McCabe aside there and told her to calm down. Because the last thing you want is something silly to cost you in a game like this. Because again, unnecessary that. But Arsenal use that free kick. They pump it long and Lyon clear it for a throw. Zaid wants to thank very much for informing us how you go on, you Gunners. No problem. Much appreciated to have you all tuning in for this semi-final. And again, would be even more appreciated if you could hit that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time. Plenty of content coming your way. We'll be covering the WSL action on tomorrow. We'll be reviewing and analysing both Champions League semi-finals across Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We've got loads of brilliant streams coming your way as well. So do make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the community as we keep pushing onwards. But 25 minutes played here. Arsenal leading Lyon by a goal to 0 in the match. Both sides are level 2-2 on aggregate. This semi-final is finally poised. Exactly how you want it from a neutral point of view. Poor pass from Gilles and Arsenal win it back high up the pitch. Calrente, Russo heads goalwards, it's just wide. Big moment for Russo. And just gets the header wrong. And a massive let-off for Arsenal. Gilles, it's a really poor pass. It's pounced on by Calrente, who's left unmarked. Pounced on by Calrente. Russo left unmarked in the penalty area and should really do better with the header. She's under no pressure whatsoever and gets it horribly wrong. That's a massive chance for Alessia Russo. Got to do better with that header. She had so much time and space. And just failed to hit the target. Ball down the line. Dumone will get there. McCabe will bring her down and that will be a Lyon free kick. And this is what I mean by clumsy, silly things costing McCabe. Dumone does so well to just pick up the ball, run into space. And then McCabe just brings her down. Really, a silly free kick to give away because Dumone is running into the corner there. And now it will give Arsenal... Arsenal starting to defend it. As long as Dumone's all right. Yeah, McCabe just gets it all wrong. Just as Dumone slows down, McCabe just keeps running and just piles into the back of her. And now Lyon with an opportunity from this set piece to get the ball in. Steph Catley is down here for Arsenal. There was a bit of a weird moment just before that foul happened where McCabe and Catley just didn't communicate. And then McCabe ended up like clearing the... Catley ended up just clearing the ball into McCabe. And I think the ball just stopped dead between the two of their feet. Watch it back here, yeah. It's McCabe who comes in to clear it, doesn't communicate. Her and Catley don't communicate, and McCabe just clears it and follows through into her own teammate. Bit of a messy one for this Arsenal backline. We're hoping Steph Catley's all right, because Woo Moy, as much as she is on the bench, or I think she's on the bench, it has been out for a period of time, and this isn't really the game that you want to be throwing a lot of Woo Moy into. Amanda Eilestead is on the bench, however, so that is it's an adequate replacement. And this does seem to be a little bit of an issue for Steph Catley. Yeah, just as Catley tries to run it back, as McCabe runs onto it to clear it, and McCabe just ends up just smashing it into Catley's foot. Well, the Arsenal centre-half is back to her feet and will look to run it off. As Yishen says, so stupid, yeah. I mean, it looks like she'll be okay to continue, but imagine she had to come off because of that. But yeah, Catley does look to be okay. Lyon then will take this free kick. Batcher is the one over it. Lyon piling options in at the far post, looking at the likes of Gilles and Renard. Ball in from Batcher, put on the goalkeeper and headed away by Frida Marnham. Lyon will recycle it though. Here is Batcher. Swings at it once again. It's not really dealt with by Arsenal. It will fall to Marnham once again, who again heads it away, but only as far as a Lyon shirt. Carpenter to Batcher. Batcher swings it in for the third time now. Was Gilles pulled down? Referee raised it away, and that will go up for an Arsenal goal kick. Yeah, it wasn't enough in that at all. We will watch it back here. Ball goes in. Yeah, nothing in that from Fox at all. Renard and Gilles asked the question, but that is never going to be a penalty. Yeah, just lightly pulls there and Gilles falls over. Nothing in that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Although they are having a look at it. Well, I may stand corrected here, because I think they are. I think they're having a quick look anyway. Unless it was Gilles down. Oh no, sorry, Van Domslar's down. That's why. I think they did have a look, but this is this is really difficult to judge. Is this a Van Domselaar has an issue, or is this a Van Domselaar is having a tactical sit down? I have no idea, because Daphne Van Domselaar has been out injured for Arsenal this season, and this is her first game back in the last few weeks. So whether this is an issue or whether this is just a tactical sit down, as we see utilised so often by the big sides, I think she does look to be okay. But yeah, important that just taking a break on 30 minutes gives both managers a chance to get a word in with their players and get some drinking. And 50, Van Domselaar's back to her feet. Absolutely fine. Tactical sit down then from Daphne Van Domselaar. Arsenal, they've already got the lead. They've gone level on aggregate, and they are deploying the dark arts. I don't blame them. It's a Champions League semi-final. So, they're going to play that. They were going to play that card at some point. Okay, 15 minutes to go to half-time. The Gunners still leading, but a big 15 minutes now. Because if you're Lyon, you want to respond in the first half. If Arsenal go into the break 1-0 up, it leaves this tie in a very precarious position. Arsenal back underway then, and Van Domselaar will give it across to Williamson. Williamson will drive it forwards, gives it to Fox. Fox into Kelly. Kelly's come inside and turns beautifully to find Mariona Caldente, who with a brilliant long ball finds Caitlin Ford, who plays it into the overlapping McCabe. McCabe across the box. It's really good move by Arsenal and cleared brilliantly by Egarola. And now Lyon will look to come the other way with Chawinga. Stuck in a bit of a stalemate with Fox, has nowhere to go, and is forced off the pitch by Arsenal. We think it's their throw, but it's not. It's Lyon's. But that's again brilliant move by Arsenal, and they're moving the ball so nicely in this game. You know, they're being braver. Them, Caldente takes on that 20, 25-yard pass, plays that long ball out to forward, and they get an opportunity from it. Whereas in that first leg, they weren't taking those kind of opportunities. They weren't playing those kind of passes. Egarola looks to play it through the lines to Hegerberg. One back, though, by Kim Little. Little looks to go long into Russo. That ball is overhit and will run out for a throw. Maria asked, why don't you put the game on? Unfortunately, I'm not able or allowed to put the game on. If you are wanting to watch the game, it is on DAZN. If you can't find it or watch it for whatever reason, then feel free to stick around and tune into this. Arsenal win it high off the Lyon throw. Caldente from range, and that is over the bar. But again, Arsenal threatening Lyon. It's another really poor piece of play in their own third from Lyon. They gift the ball back to Arsenal. And Caldente, who picks it up on the edge of the area, has a go. And I think a player of her quality would have wanted to keep that down from there, looking to find that top left corner, but just gets it wrong. And a lot to think about, and a scratch of the beard from Joe Montemuro, because his side have not been good enough. And again, it's another poor pass. This time it picks out Kim Little, who goes on a brilliant run, finds Ford. Ford looks to beat Carpenter. Goes one way, goes the other. Forced back to Little. Here's Mariona Caldente. Caldente, McCabe. McCabe swings it in. It's a good ball headed away. Once again by Vanessa Gilles. And now Lyon will counter. Or at least try to. Dumonet. Holding on to it nicely. Finds Lindsay Heaps. Heaps with a good dink pass out to Diani. Diani now running at the Arsenal backline. Goes inside to Dumonet, who falls over the football and was caught apparently in there by the onrushing Frida Arnhem. I'd like to have a look at this one back, because I don't particularly think that was a foul. Dumonet overruns it, takes a heavy touch. Let's see, was she caught? So Diani cuts inside, plays it into the middle to Dumonet, whose touch overruns. It's the slightest of touches from Frida Arnhem on the ankle. Slightest of touch on the ankle. There is contact, but it's very soft. And I think Dumonet has done well to win that free kick and not con the referee, because there was contact. But it's smart from Dumonet to go down in the way she did. And now Lyon are presented with a shooting opportunity from about 25 yards out. Batcher is the one over it. You'd expect her to be the one to take it. Who else in the conversation? I think there's someone else having a chat as well. Will we Batcher, though, from range, just over the bar, onto the roof of the net. Rushed it, really. The whistle went. She tried to catch everyone out by taking it really quickly, and instead she's rushed it and got it wrong. Arsenal weren't really set for that. Yeah, onto the roof of the net. Not a bad effort, but just rushed it and got it wrong. 10 minutes then, until the interval. And it's been because Lyon, when they come forward, they look pretty dangerous, but they've been so sloppy with the ball. It's incredible. The amount of times Arsenal won it back in their own third. Although speaking about being sloppy with the ball, Arsenal are they keep blocking each other's passes, and now Lyon have the ball back. Ford, Heaps goes down in a heap, but doesn't get the free kick. The clearance from Williamson is pounced on by Batcher. Ball into the box, big block that from the recovering Russo. Very deep to find Alessia Russo, and it will be a Lyon corner. But yeah, the home side are definitely working their way back into this game. When they haven't been brilliant at getting into the final third, but when they do get into that final third, they do look to cause problems. Yisha says, Dan, this is so intense. That is the joy of watching your side play a Champions League semi-final. Dumonet with the ball in. It's not a bad one. There was a push in there on Renard, who goes to the deck. Carpenter's going to have a go from range, and that just over the bar. But again, Arsenal, they've dealt with that really well, and they've forced Lyon into having a pot shot. If Carpenter puts that into the top corner, then fair enough, but over the bar. And if you're an Arsenal fan, if you're an Arsenal player, you'll happily watch Lyon put shots over the bar for the rest of this 90 minutes. Rama says, where can I watch live? YouTube not bringing it. Yeah, yes, it isn't on. Unfortunately, today isn't on the YouTube. It is on DAZN though. But again, if you can't watch it, make sure to stick around with everyone else and get involved in the live chat in this watch-along as we watch Diani run down the right-hand side. Cuts back, plays it in. It's not a bad ball. Brilliant header from Fox to take it away from Dumonet. Batcher, ball in. Cleared by Williamson, only as far as Dumonet. Massive block though by Little. Diani shot blocked by McCabe. Lyon are really starting to ramp up the pressure, and Arsenal have just got to be careful because things are getting a little bit scrappy. Although Caitlin Ford is now bringing the ball the other way. That is brilliant from Caitlin Ford, and Ellie Carpenter just takes out her fellow Aussie, and Arsenal will have the free kick. Referee wants to have a conversation. It's really good from Caitlin Ford. Picks the ball up, drives away, uses her pace to burst, and Ellie Carpenter just trips forward to the floor. Sarah, I think I'm going to go with Sarah. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks, Dan. What's happening? It's so frustrating not to see it yet. It's what the broadcasters do, but I'm trying my best. Matthew says we need to win this game, qualify for the final. I assume, well, whatever cup, I don't know what side of this game you're on, whether you're a Lyon fan or an Arsenal fan, but yeah, whoever you're supporting, you want to see them get into that final to take on Barcelona in Lisbon. At least it'll be a good holiday as well for any fans going. Here are Arsenal coming forwards now. Ford looks to play it into Marlon. That's over here and will be a Lyon goal kick. Phil says surely a yellow for Carpenter. I did think so, yeah. Ford burst away there and would have been in a good opportunity. But I think Carpenter's got away with one there slightly. Got away with one slightly there. Lyon on the ball now. Dumonet looks to play it into Chawinga. Massive tackle that from Emily Fox. And Fox did really well in the first leg to keep Chawinga quiet. And she's doing it again in this game. Limiting the Lyon left winger. Oh, that's poor from Caldente. She's caught in possession again. Here is Heaps. Oh, her pass was deflected. And it goes out for a throw. The throw, though, Lyon are wasteful and they give it away again. And Arsenal are going to try and bring it forwards. Here is Kim Little on the charge for the Gunners. Brilliant drive from Little. Gets it out wide to Ford. Ford back to McCabe. McCabe goes to Ford. McCabe. Arsenal just taking their time, slowing things down. McCabe goes to Catley. Catley goes back to Van Domselaar. Williamson. Really good switch. Brought down by Ford. Ford inside to Little. Little. Back to Arsenal's left-hand side with Ford. Now McCabe. Caldente moves it from left to right. Here's Williamson. Williamson across to Fox. Fox looks to burst past Chawinga. Pokes it into the path of Frida Marnham. Marnham back to the American Emily Fox. Here is Caldente. Marnham back to Mariona Caldente. Arsenal are just probing. This is really good stuff. Keeping control of the ball, moving it nicely. And Lyon can't get a touch on it. Although as I say that, commentators curse. And Marnham gives it away and Lyon have the ball back. Egarola into Batcher. Batcher looks to burst away. Instead, she's forced backwards to Renard. So as I reckon we're a fair bit out of time. We had a goal, but we haven't had any massive stoppages. We had Catley down, to be fair, and Van Domselaar. So maybe you're right. But yeah, I think that I wouldn't expect a lengthy additional time. Caldente nearly caught on the ball once again. Does manage, though, to shift it to McCabe. Although that time she is caught out. But again, the deflection falls to Little. But Little's now caught on the ball. And here come Lyon the other way. Dumonet, ball in, blocked by McCabe. And then cleared for a throw. But we're starting to see the same problems develop for Arsenal. Little and Caldente are getting caught on the ball again. And that's why I think that Arsenal have got to be careful, because Little and Caldente are really getting caught out in that pivot. They were doing okay to start with, but now They're just not moving the ball quick enough, really. And that is letting them down. Arsenal on the ball, launch it forwards, header won by Gilles. Little to Caldente. Caldente bursting down the left-hand side, plays it down the line into Ford. Ford's made a good run here. Under pressure for Gilles, that's really good defending. And there's also one outside of throat. Really good defending that from Gilles. Phil says Arsenal winning just had Chitty T. I think Taylor's peak. That is a brilliant Sunday for Phil. As long as Arsenal hold on, that Sunday can easily be ruined. Free kick given there on Hegerberg up against Catley. I think Hegerberg was just a little bit too strong. Oh no, hit the arm, sorry. Hit the arm of Hegerberg there. She was frustrated. It's accidental because her arms are tucked in. There's not really much she can do about it, but it is still out. It still hit her arm. Arsenal move it quickly from the free kick then. A second Arsenal goal before the break would be absolutely massive. Caldente. Russo. Marnham. Here's Caldente. Inside to Little. Little. Across to Williamson. Williamson to Fox, sorry. Again, Arsenal moving it really nicely. Kelly on the right-hand side. Cuts inside. It's really good from Chloe Kelly. Being direct. Lays it into Caldente, but the pass is a little bit overhit. And Lyon win it back. McCabe, though, he's brought down there by Dumonet. Isn't happy with Dumonet either. It's been a weird battle, just brewing. But it's smart from I mean, it's a silly foul, don't get me wrong, but there's been a bit of afters every single time that Dumonet and McCabe get involved with each other. Here is Williamson. Lovely switch of the play, looking to pick out Kelly, and it will reach the England right winger, but Batcher defends it well. Long ball by Lyon, one back by Arsenal. 3 additional minutes. Here is Kelly. Kelly puts the ball in, headed away though by Egarola. Will fall to Little. Really good stuff. Lays it to Russo. Caldente, someone's got to have a shot for Arsenal. Caldente doesn't. What a goal that is! And Arsenal double their lead on the night and a header on aggregate through an absolute belter from Mariona Caldente. And that is what special players do. In the big moments, in the big games, they come up with something special. And I said someone had to pull the trigger. And Mariona Caldente did that and then some. What a strike that is. No Arsenal players flicking it around the edge of the area. Mariona Caldente picks it up, says thank you very much, and fires it into the top corner. Brilliant from Kelly, puts it in there. Gives Lyon something to think about. Arsenal messing around on the edge. Russo lays it to Caldente, who just picks her place and absolutely perfectly buries it in the top corner. Endler with no chance. And Arsenal are in a brilliant position now. Brilliant position. They came into this game losing 2-1 on aggregate. And then they're now going into half-time 3-2 up. What a goal that is. Brilliant support and response in the chat, by the way, for Arsenal. A massive goal. Massive goal in this match. 7th of the campaign. So 7th of the Champions League campaign for Mariona Caldente. And that is to the surprise of nobody. A player of her quality. Of course, she's going to notch up in the biggest and the toughest competition in the world. Scored in the first leg to give Arsenal a chance. And has scored in the second to put Arsenal ahead. Poor pass from Williamson, though. And now Lyon are coming forward. Here is Hegerberg. Heaps. And now, all the pressure is on the home side. Batcher. Ball in. It's not a bad one. It's headed towards goal. What a save that is from Van Domselaar. Really good football from Lyon. Batcher makes a brilliant run to get past Fox, puts it in there, falls to Egarola at the back post, who's denied brilliantly by Van Domselaar. That is a brilliant stop from Arsenal's number one. And wow. A game that we knew would be competitive, that we knew would be close, but I don't think anybody had Arsenal leading at half-time. And that is the half-time whistle. After 45 minutes played here in France, Arsenal have turned the tie around and have gone from losing 2-1 to leading 3-2. They are currently winning the game by 2-0. Brilliant from the Gunners away from home. Lots of questions to answer for Lyon. But Arsenal will not care because they are 40... I'm going to say it, Arsenal fans. They are 45 minutes away from the Champions League final. Wow. If you told me I'd be saying that sentence a few months ago, I'd have thought you had taken the mick. But Arsenal, that's how well they've played today. They've put themselves in a position where if they hold on now, they will be Champions League finalists. And that would be a huge moment for the club to return back to the European final. And Tim makes a great point, and this is, I think, a really good place to start. That's Manu, that would have been a goal for Lyon. And I understand your point. Yes, not necessarily would that certain shot go in, but I think having Van Domselaar back today has been absolutely crucial for Arsenal. Just in terms of the calmness at the back, she's better with the ball at her feet. She's much more composed, and yes, a better shot stopper and a much more confident goalkeeper, and that is crucial in games like this. Because Van Domselaar has done very, very well, and it's been a first 45 minutes where Arsenal have had control, they've looked composed, and they've really settled. It's very easy to come into a tie when you're losing and be a little bit nervous, be a little bit worried. But Arsenal, there's none of that. It's cool, it's calm, it's collected, and that's why they're winning this football match. Because the pressure wasn't on them in this game. The pressure in this tie is all on Lyon because they're the 8-time winners. They're the side that were one of the favourites to win the Champions League. Arsenal, though, they are using the fact that, using that lack of expectation, and they're taking it and they're running with it, and they're putting up a brilliant, brilliant performance so far. A lot of work to do, but they are halfway there. Lots of messages coming in the chat. Make sure to keep them going throughout half time. Get your thoughts in on that first 45 minutes. New says, as a Barca fan, I was scared of Lyon, but now I want them both. Arsenal and Lyon. Yeah, Lyon have been really poor. And I think that is important to say. Yes, Arsenal are playing very, very well, but Lyon haven't turned up. And that is really costly at the moment because they're now gone from being in a really good position to being in a terrible position in this semi-final. And I think they'll be very frustrated. They've allowed Arsenal to control the play. They've allowed Arsenal to dictate the tempo. Especially in that first 10, 20 minutes, Arsenal were barely under any pressure. Lyon really struggled to just win the ball back and to keep Arsenal under the pump. And the Gunners, they used that. They got themselves into Lyon's half, and they started putting pressure onto Lyon instead. And that has massively changed his tie. I said that Chloe Kelly could be a difference maker because she's direct, she takes players on, and that's exactly what she's done. Because rather than getting out wide and knocking it backwards, Kelly is just crossing the ball in. And yes, those crosses aren't directly leading to goals. Those crosses aren't being headed in by someone. But what they're doing is they're putting pressure onto the Lyon backline. They're forcing them to clear it, which is better than them winning the ball back because that clearance won't go as far and they can't really use that clearance. So they end up just clearing the ball back to Arsenal. So Kelly has been pivotal in this football match because she's getting the ball and she's putting Lyon under pressure. The second goal came because Kelly put a cross in. It was headed away by Gilles. The clearance fell to Arsenal. They reworked it and Carante scored a brilliant goal. And yes, all the credit should to Carante, but again, that goal was a product of the work that Chloe Kelly's been doing in that first half. And that is one of the reasons why Arsenal are leading this football match by 2-0. And credit to Slagers, because I think that bringing in Kelly was a massive boost to the team selection. I think the fact that Van Domselaar is fit is crucial. To say that Zinsberger was the reason they lost the first leg, I think is very harsh. Lyon should have scored. Arsenal should have scored a lot more goals, and this is I feel for Zinsberger, because again that's a very great example of people just blaming Zinsberger for the sake of blaming Zinsberger. But it doesn't matter, at this point. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, Van Donstaar's been back and she has looked much better. So I'm saying, Kelly showing off her talent. Yeah, it's really good to see. I think from an Arsenal point of view, it's great for them to have a player that is positively impacting their games. From an England point of view, it's really good to see one of England's key players playing very, very well and building up her form going into the European Championships this summer. But yeah, really good stuff from Kelly. And she's proving once again that she can play at the highest level, that she is good enough to make an impact in these kind of matches, in these Champions League semi-finals. When all the pressure's on, Kelly can deliver. I'm going to get this wrong, so I do put... is it Kiprotich? Please correct me if I've got that wrong. It says, Lyon are giving Arsenal so much space, ridiculous, they should be 4 up. I do agree. I think that, really bizarrely, the Lyon press has been lacklustre. The biggest thing we praise Lyon for is the way they press size, the way they shut off all the options, the way they close the space. And you're right, Lyon haven't done that today. They've allowed Arsenal to have the ball. They've allowed Arsenal to come forwards with possession. And it's been really surprising. I'm not quite... I'm struggling to understand why they've done it. Because the way they win games is by suffocating the opposition and then winning the ball back out the pitch and scoring goals. But they're just not... They're not pressing Arsenal as intensely as they usually do, which is, in turn, allowing Arsenal to have space and allowing Arsenal to have the ball in really good areas. And it's confusing, mate, to why Lyon aren't at the standard. Why are they not giving it... why are they not... I'm sorry, but simply put, I'm baffled as to why Lyon aren't pressing as hard as they should be. They're really calm. They're sitting off Arsenal, which is something we've never seen Lyon do. We've never seen Lyon sit off a side, and it has cost them in that first half. That says lots of Kenyan name, big up from Nairobi. Well, thank you for tuning in. International audience in here today. Sapphire says Renard gets a lot of praise, and rightfully so for her longevity. But Paredes is only a year younger, doesn't get the same praise. Yes, but I think that it's the pedigree of Wendy Renard as to why she gets the praise. It's the fact that she's won so many trophies so consistently. It's the fact that she has, yes, I agree. Paredes over the last few years has led and has been a massive part of Barcelona winning the Champions League. But Lyon's pure dominance was incredible, and Renard was front and centre of all of that. But yeah, loads of countries coming in, joining here. We've got Norway as well, or Nordics in there as well, which is really good to see. Yishan's looking where City are today, happy for Kelly. Yeah, and that's the difference, is that Kelly has gone from today, she'd have been playing a random UWCL game that didn't mean anything against Leicester. Instead, she's thriving in a Champions League semi-final and is 45 minutes away from being part of an Arsenal side who will be in the Champions League final as it stands. Long way to go. And this, I think the key thing is now for Arsenal is to not get comfortable, because Lyon will hit you hard. If you dare to even stop for a moment against Lyon, they will respond immediately. And I do think that I'm expecting a rejuvenated Lyon side. I expect them to be pressing. I expect them to be hungrier and more intense to try and turn that ball over and to try and get more opportunities. Phil says, fair play to Renee. She's showing us that she has an idea of how she wants to play and is brave enough to go for it regardless of opponent. I thought it was naive, but I had to be wrong. Yeah, I think you're right. We said when we reviewed the first leg, we said that Arsenal were too safe. We said that they didn't play the ambitious ball. But in this game, you're absolutely spot on. Slagers and Arsenal have come out with a clear message of they don't fear anybody. They've come out today. They're playing with confidence. They're playing on the front foot, and they're taking the game to Lyon. And that is really causing Lyon issues. And I think it's really good to see Arsenal. They're being brave, they're being bold, they're taking those gambles, they're taking those risks, and they've massively paid off. It's why they're 2-0 up, because rather than playing safe, rather than trying to keep hold of the ball, they're putting the ball into the penalty area and they're putting Lyon under the pump and trying to cause problems. And an all-round consensus that from Arsenal fans that they want to keep Chloe Kelly. I think it would be a very good addition. Chloe Kelly on her day is an incredible forward and can cause problems for any backline. So I understand the sentiment from Gunners fans as to why they would want Chloe Kelly to stay around in Arsenal red and white. And yeah, she's a fan favourite. She's a media player, so that's always going to be a boost for the club and for the fans to see her playing. But yes, Ray mentioning Liverpool 5-0 against Spurs. Blimey, that is incredible. So we saw the Liverpool side. They also played Tottenham today. That was a weird coincidence. A really weird game. Don't know how they drew that 2-2 in the WSL. We had WSL action all throughout the day, which has been some incredible action. West Ham put 7 past Crystal Palace. That was, but yeah, if you want to see us talk about that, we'll be reviewing that all tomorrow in our usual Monday weekend review. Only the 4 games once again, but there's still been some very, very good games. And of course, we will be reviewing this whatever happens in these 2 Champions League semi-finals on Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, we already know the result of Barcelona-Chelsea. Barcelona back into the Champions League final for another year. And they, as it stands, would be taking on Arsenal. But there's 45 minutes for Lyon to change that. And a lot can happen in 45 minutes in football. Ramos says Van Domselaar today, very important. Yes, I couldn't agree more. She's been given, she's had a really good game and has played very, very well. But yeah, credit to her. Someone says Liverpool won the league, then the Premier League. Yes, they win it today. They will win it today. If they've won that game clearly. But yeah, and Sapphire mentioning Ryzen there. Not Ryzen there. Sorry, Riley there, wondering where he's gone. Yes, I'm sure Chelsea fans are having a moment. And to be fair, if I wasn't live for this game, I think I'll be having a moment myself. But yeah, still got a very, very big 45 minutes coming our way. I think it's important. It's very, very important for Arsenal to come out and just to not change a thing. It's very easy in their situation now to go defensive and trying to protect what they've got. And I think that would hurt Arsenal. If they try and defend their lead, if they try and sit deep, I think that could really catch them out. I think Arsenal's best way of holding on to this result is going to be to take the game to Lyon and to just don't change a thing. Keep playing the way you're playing. If Lyon outplay you, that's fair enough. And yes, as the game goes on, I think they will get deeper. I think they should defend. But right now, 45 minutes is a long time. A lot can happen in 45 minutes. So I think right now, Arsenal just need to conserve what they've got and not conserve what they've got, but still go for the game. And I think that will be a key moment. A key moment as to what decisions they make in this second 45. Will they decide to sit deep? Will they take the game to Lyon? I think that if they sit deep, they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. And that it's a really risky play to do, because if you sit deep, Lyon only need a goal. That's the important thing to remember, is Lyon only need a goal, and they're suddenly back in this game. But yeah, as most people agreeing that Arsenal need to keep pushing. Carlos Sainz saying, will they turn it around? Yes, Arsenal did indeed turn it around. But Lyon, he won that first game 2-1. They can lose this game 2-1 and still go to extra time. So important for Arsenal to remember that they are that Lyon only need a goal, and that Arsenal have to keep pushing. They need to another goal. Arsenal are in the driving seat and they're in a brilliant position. If they don't manage to find that third goal, then Lyon will fancy themselves to get something out of this game. And again, it's what champions do, is that Lyon will, obviously they want to turn this game around, but even if they were to lose the actual game 2-1 and still take extra time, they're not going to complain. That's good enough for them. But both sides coming back out onto the pitch for the second 45 minutes here. Lyon needing a goal to save this game. Arsenal are 45 minutes away from the Champions League final. Wow. Let that sink in, Arsenal fans. All it takes is to hold on against Lyon, who have won the title 8 times. But they'll rally. Important words coming in here from Little and Williamson. Lyon are ready to go. They are not waiting around for anybody. Arsenal got us underway in the first half. It will be Lyon to get us underway in the second. No changes at the break for either side. So it'll be the same 22 players taking to the field for 45 minutes. In 45 minutes' time, we will have a confirmed Champions League final unless Lyon can find a goal to send this game to extra time. It will be Ada Hegerberg to get us underway from the middle. Arsenal got to keep up the pressure. Hegerberg knocks it back and we are underway for the last 45 minutes of this year's Champions League semi-final stage. Lyon need a goal. Desperately need a goal if they want to have a chance to redeem themselves for last year's Champions League final loss. If they want to have the chance to go head-to-head with Barcelona once again. Long ball from Arsenal. One back by Russo. Looks to find Caitlin Ford. Ford tries to flick it to Marnham. Tackle from Gilles will fall to Russo instead. And Russo makes it 3. A brilliant and an important goal from Alessia Russo. And I said, Arsenal have to start fast. And Lyon are furious because Arsenal have hit them so fast out of the break and have put themselves in a brilliant position. The Gunners are in dreamland. It's messy. It is so messy from Lyon. But Arsenal will not care. On the night, it's Arsenal 3, Lyon 0, and the Gunners lead 4-2 on aggregate. And well, a minute ago, Lyon only needed a goal, but now they need 2. 3-0 in their own backyard. Wow. It's so messy. It is defensively all over the place from Lyon. And it falls kindly to Alessia Russo. Really kindly to Alessia Russo, who in that position, in the form she's been all season, was always going to finish that. And well, Russo with her 7th of the Champions League now. Both her and Canante have put up 7 each. Absolutely incredible numbers. But Arsenal have a 2-goal lead on aggregate. And now this game is very, very different. Because Lyon have a mountain to climb. An absolute mountain to climb. But if there's one side in the world that can come back from 2 goals down in a semi-final in 44 minutes, it is Olympique Lyonnais. And now they're on the ball. Here is Chawinga looking to get past Fox. Big tackle though from the Arsenal fullback and Fox puts it out for a throw. Brilliant reaction from everybody in the chat. No one saw that goal coming. A brilliant, brilliant start from Arsenal. A massive goal. Massive goal. Completely changes the game. I think at 2-0 and Lyon trailing by a goal, you'd still have Lyon as the favourites. But Arsenal now 3-0 up and 4-2 up. You feel that they're in a brilliant position. And they've just got to hold on now. Just got to hold on. Lyon with a free kick. Referee won't let them take it yet though, because there's a bit of hustle and bustle in the penalty area. Will be Batcher now to put it in then for Lyon. It's not a bad ball. Looking towards the back post. Brilliant header from Williamson to get it clear. And Arsenal will now look to come the other way. Fox clears it into a Lyon player. And it will go out for an Arsenal goal kick. Urgency there from Lyon. They're chasing after the ball for Van Domselaar there. Kindly giving it back to her. But Russo, what a finish that is. Has been in scintillating form this season. Has been absolutely brilliant in an Arsenal shirt. Some incredible numbers. And again, one-on-one with Endler. There was only going to be one result, and that was Russo finding the bottom corner to give Arsenal a 3-goal advantage. And again, Lyon tried to clear it, but the Gunners win it back. Russo pulled to the ground there by Egarola, and it will be an Arsenal free kick. Very easy free kick to give that for the referee. Very clumsy from Egarola. Rene, I mean, I'd love to know what is running through the mind of Rene Slegers right now. Because the expression is deadpan. She looks calm, she looks composed. But I'm sure that inside, there's a mix of emotions for the Arsenal manager, who not long ago was only an interim. And now, she's potentially going to coach the side to the Champions League final. Renard. Heaps. Lyon, though, will not go down without a fight. They will have something to say about the current predicament they find themselves in. Renard goes back to Endler. But yeah, Phil making a great point that if Lyon push for it, that's going to leave a lot of space for Arsenal to use. The problem is if Lyon push and score, then it doesn't matter how much space they leave Arsenal. But yeah, this game will become more open, and that could potentially favour Arsenal more than it will favour Lyon. Here is Caitlin Ford on the left-hand side. Ford, Marnham, back to Ford. Arsenal pushing once again. Here is Caitlin Ford. Goes back to McCabe. McCabe, Ford, Kelly. Lovely combination play between the Arsenal front line. Ford running direct at Carpenter, wins a corner. Really good stuff from Caitlin Ford. 5 minutes into the second half, Arsenal. That's 5 minutes gone now. 40 to go. That's the way they've got to look at it. Corner then for the Gunners. They've taken it short. McCabe will cut it back to Kelly. Kelly looks to play it into the box. It's deflected. Will fall back to Kelly. Cleared away very well. And all the way to Van Domselaar. But yeah, I think that just reading through what you're all saying, a lot of people surprised, yeah. No one saw this coming. Lyon have been well and truly outplayed. Absolutely incredible. Arsenal have been superb, and they're still coming forwards. Marnham, Russo. Ford. Cut out by Diani. Brilliant tracking back. Clearance, though, from Gilles is blocked by Russo. Arsenal are working very, very hard. Huge support for the Gunners in the chat. Make sure if you are tuning in to get involved, to hit that like button and to hit that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time. 40 minutes to play in this Champions League final. Arsenal, who you'd expect now, Lyon will be the ones putting the pressure on, but it's the Gunners coming forward. It's Kelly trying to dance past Renard. Wendy Renard stops her in her tracks. Arsenal still with the ball though. Marnham. Here is Caitlin Ford. Ford back to McCabe. McCabe back to Caitlin Ford. Here's Caldente. Marnham. Arsenal, this is brilliant. This is brilliant game management. Russo on the turn, has a go. Well saved by Endler. But Arsenal still threatening. Endler, though, throws it out quickly. Wants to get going. Brilliant from Russo. Lets the ball do the work. Lets the ball run across her body. Uses her strength to spin Gilles and gets a good shot away. Endler, though, it matches to it. Here is Lyon coming forwards now. Batcher with the ball in. Not a bad one. Headed away by Catley. Will fall now to the on-rushing Carpenter. Carpenter will have a go from range, but drags it wide. And again, Arsenal will happily watch that shot sail wide of the mark for the next 38 minutes. Feels like I love 45 minutes of dark arts right now. Arsenal got to manage it. They've got to get it right with those dark arts. You don't want to be over the top and catch yourself out. Just the little things. Just take the pace out of the game. Take the sting out of the game. But wait, shots on target in this football match. Arsenal had 5. Lyon had 1. You know, I think in certain games this season, especially in the first leg, people criticise Arsenal's clinicality. But in this game, they have been deadly in front of goal. They've scored some absolutely brilliant strikes, and they've caused so many problems for Lyon. It's absolutely incredible. And I just think that no one saw this coming. Lyon have been miles off it, but Arsenal have been superb. They've turned up at the home of the 8-time UWCL winners and played them off the park. And they're still continuing to do so. It's not like we're seeing a Lyon fight back at the moment. Here's McCabe. McCabe looks to swing it in too close to Endler. Endler trying to play it out again. Lyon under all kinds of pressure when they try and play out. Arsenal been so good at that high press. Fox, brilliant battling away with numerous Lyon players. Dumonet shrugs off one challenge from Kelly, shrugs off the other, but the third one is a foul. And that will be a Lyon free kick. Dumonet brought down. Renard will be the one to send it up. Lyon need a reaction. They need the players to step up. Long ball to Hegerberg. Flicks it on to Chawinga. Chawinga back to Hegerberg. Good shot. Good save from Van Domselaar. Lyon's second shot on target of the game, and it's really good. Long ball from Renard. Hegerberg wins the first header. Flicks it on to Chawinga, who lovely little dink over the top into Hegerberg, who first time fires it straight at Van Domselaar. Well saved, well watched by Daphne Van Domselaar, but better from Lyon. Being more direct, causing more problems, and getting Hegerberg into this game. Yeah, if you get Ada Hegerberg into a game of football, you're going to have a good chance of getting something out of it. And that Lyon haven't done enough of that today. But they are now coming forwards. Here is Diani. Dumonet looks to go back to Diani. Will she get there? Not quite, no. One back by Marnham. Brilliant fighting from Frida Marnham. Here is Catley running away from Heaps. Really good drive from Catley. Has she run out of road? No. Well judged and gives it to Ford. Here is Caldente to Little. Little back to McCabe. McCabe goes to Van Domselaar and just gives Arsenal a moment to rest. Williamson. Enjoying. Just taking Arsenal just doing brilliantly. They're managing this so well. Taking their time on the ball. Not forcing the pass. Now they can play control football. Now they can play it safe. Because they've done the hard work. Lyon readying a change. That looks to be Madry coming on when the ball next leaves the pitch. Williamson. Now we'll play the ball in between the lines into Kelly. Little caught on the ball just about manages to keep hold of it. Recycles it to Catley. Catley gives it to McCabe. Here now is Caldente driving forwards. Gives it to Little. Little one further to Fox. Fox to Kelly. Kelly ball in, headed away by Egarola. Dumonet looks to come the other way. Flicks it to Hegerberg. Heaps. Has Diani on the right hand side and will play it into Diani now. Diani. Dumonet. Good overlapping run from Carpenter. Carpenter has made a meal of that. Takes a heavy touch and runs off the pitch. Arsenal throw. But yeah, brilliant support for the Gunners. Loving it coming in. A lot of people believing now and backing Arsenal to get this result over the line. Lyon reacting then. It will be Chawinga to be replaced. Not really got involved in this match. And we are going to see the introduction of Madry. So you'd expect to see... So it'll be Madry coming in on this left-hand side. No, it won't. So Dumonet will go out to the left and Madry will come in and play in that attacking midfield role. That makes sense. Chawinga didn't really have an impact. Can Madry make the difference for Lyon? Arsenal throw in their own corner. Long throw cleared away by Gilles for another throw. People discussing the goalkeeper situation. I think it's a good... Zinsberger is a capable goalkeeper. It's just Van Domselaar. She's part of that elite circle of goalkeepers. She really is. And it's not necessarily... she's not had to make any incredible saves in this match, but it's the composure, it's the confidence that she instills in that Arsenal backline that massively helps them. Although she might be relied upon now as Diani comes forward, tries to get the ball in, blocked and out for a corner. Lyon are now just starting to push a little bit more. They've got nothing to lose now. Batcha corner then for Lyon. They need a goal and they need a goal soon. Plenty of aerial threat in there. The ball swung in. Renard wins the backheader. Will fall a Dumont on the volley. What a block from McCabe. Superb defending from Katie McCabe. Carpenter puts it back in. Headed away by Williamson. Carpenter again tries to put it back in, but Little picks it off, and that is a terribly poor challenge from Egarola. Deliberately, just completely takes out Kim Little. And will take the yellow card and rightfully apologises because it's you understand what Egarola's doing there. She's stopping the counter-attack. That is an easy yellow card. It's deliberate, but it's not harmful. But what a block that is from McCabe. Brilliant corner from Lyon. Renard heads it down to Dumont, who on the volley has hit that perfectly. And Katie McCabe just stands strong and takes the full force of the volley straight in the face. Here come Arsenal though. Russo is caught in the tackle. Bit of a clumsy one. Ball runs through to Ender though. Nothing, there isn't much in it. Dennis making a good point that Lyon are vulnerable on the counter. Yeah, extremely so. Because they're pushing for it now. They're going to leave a lot of space at the back. They're going to throw numbers forward, which will leave them compromised in a defensive situation. Half an hour to play. Nick says we got this. I love the difference of confidence across the chat. You've got Arsenal fans who are fully convinced that their side, are definitely sure that their side are going to hold on and win this. You've got other fans who are really nervous and are very, very worried that their side are going to throw it away. So it's one of those. I love to see the difference between all the different Arsenal fans. But overall, it's an overwhelming support. Great to see. Cheering Arsenal on today. Really good to see you tuning into the stream. Massively appreciated as well. All of you watching right now. Lyon throw. Arsenal, though. Story of this game. Win it back. And now that clearance will lead to another Arsenal throw. Arsenal done so well at winning the ball back in really high areas and then just turning it over and putting so much pressure on Lyon. They've done very, very well at it. Still, Lyon are Lyon. They need 2 goals in half an hour. It's not impossible. But Arsenal will know that. Fox into Russo. Goes to Little. Little overhit pass though, and now will be a Lyon throw. Batcha. Again, sloppy from Lyon from their own throw, and they've given it away. Did that take a nick off somebody? No, it didn't. Will be a Lyon goal kick. Endler. Oh, Gilles slipped over and has passed it straight to Caitlin Ford. Ford makes it 4. And Arsenal. Surely that is it for Arsenal. A massive error from Vanessa Gilles. Ford takes full advantage. And the Gunners lead 4 goals to 0. They are in dreamland. It has been a brilliant performance. And that sums up the game. A massive error that could have massive consequence. And Arsenal lead 5-2 on aggregate. And surely that is it. Surely not even the great Lyon can come back from this. Arsenal, who lost the first leg, have turned up in Lyon and have turned the 8-time winners over for 4 goals. It's a shambles. Ender tries to play it quickly. Gilles doesn't really know what to do with it, slips over, gives it straight to Caitlin Ford, who smashes it past Christine Endler. Ford made sure that went in the back of the net. And Lyon have been battered in this semi-final. And Arsenal are absolutely flying. Incredible. Incredible stuff from Renee Sagers and Arsenal. The support is absolutely incredible. Great to see you all tuning in for Arsenal. And understandably so. Because in 27 minutes' time, surely it will be Arsenal who join Barcelona in the Champions League final. The only side the only English side to win the Champions League, and Arsenal will have an opportunity to do it again. Surely it will take something monumental from Lyon. Monumental. That is incredible. I'm sorry, but I am genuinely lost for words. I did not expect this today. I did not think when I sat down in this chair to watch this football match that after 64 minutes it would be Lyon 0, Arsenal 4. Absolutely incredible scenes. It is just unbelievable. Did not see this coming. And do you know what? Credit to Arsenal, because I don't think anyone saw this coming. It has been an incredible fortune start to finish from Arsenal. And unless Lyon are going to pull off one of the best upsets best turnarounds we've ever seen. Shot from Batcha, well claimed by Van Domselaar, who will take her time. 25 minutes to go. Arsenal leading by 4 goals on the night. 3 goals on aggregate. Yeah, Matty says, am I dreaming? Glory says, this is the best comeback. No one saw this coming. It is insane. This is why football is football. And this is why we always say anything could happen in football. Because this is quite frankly absurd. Arsenal are coming forward once again. Here's Caitlin Ford. Ford to Marnham. Back to Caitlin Ford, who looks to play it back to Marnham, but that will run through to Endler. But yeah, just brilliant reactions. Everyone loving it. Most people are shocked that Arsenal are in this position. But it looks to be that on May 24th, it will be Arsenal in that Champions League final. Renard, here is Gilles. And now you feel any Lyon... You thought at 3-0 that Lyon coming back was going to be difficult. But when you've got players like Vanessa Gilles making errors, Endler scoring own goals, Lyon just been miles off it. Miles off it. I'm just stunned to see how poor Lyon have been in this match. Individual errors across the board. Not worked hard enough. They've not pressed well at all. They have been shocking, but take nothing away from Arsenal. Ball in from Madry, cleared though by Catley. But yeah, again, you have a lot of problems for Lyon, but you have to give credit to Arsenal. They've been superb. Van der Donk and Le Sommer are getting ready to come on for roll of the dice. Just crazy stuff. This is why we love football. This is why we love Champions League. Absurd result, this. It's not over yet. As I said, anything can happen in football. And Lyon could easily turn it around. But the chances of that happening are very slim now. Renard goes out wide to Diani. A goal now would make things slightly interesting. Diani, ball in, looking for Hegerberg, headed away by Williamson. Put back in there by Egarola. Gilles looks to potentially volley it. We'll find Dumonet instead. Dumonet to Diani. Diani has a go into the side netting. Gets the shot all wrong. And Arsenal have a goal kick. Good foot, although I can understand what she's trying to do there. Diani just trying to squeeze it into the space. Here comes then the double change for Lyon. Ada Hegerberg will be replaced. And it will be Le Sommer coming on in her place. And then it will be Daniele van der Donk coming on to replace Lindsay Heaps. So Lyon rolling the dice now and going for the game. They need a goal. Well, they need a lot of goals. But yeah, like you mentioning, what's Arsenal's chance of the trophy? And yeah, it's... who knows? But at the end of the day, they don't need to worry about that right now. No one thought they'd beat Lyon. They'd be beating Lyon 4-0 right now. So anything is possible. And well, I don't think Arsenal fans will care about the final. they're in it as it stands, and that's all that matters. Lyon win it back. Renard charging through the side. Here is Diani. De Donk. Cleared away by Williamson. What De Donk? Sorry, Van de Donk. Don't know why I just shortened it to De Donk. It's not a name. Ball back to Gilles, who goes to Endler. Lyon need more urgency if they want to have any chance of scoring 3 goals. But yeah, Arsenal, they don't do it the easy way, do they? Lost the first leg in against Real Madrid 2-0, turned it around 3-0. Lost the first leg in the semi-final 2-1, turned it around 4-0 as it stands. It just stuns me every time I say it. I still don't think it's real. Here is Batcher bursting down the left-hand side. Good drive from Lyon's fullback. Gets the ball in the box, headed away by Catley. Will fall to Carpenter at the far side on the right. Here is Van der Donk. Turns, twists, ball in, cut away by Catley. And now Liverpool, as Arsenal look to come the other way. Van der Donk. So yeah, is that Agarola? Got to be careful because she's taken out Russo there and she's already on a yellow card. Doesn't want to be seeing a second yellow and then a red. But I think we are going to see more changes now. Are these Arsenal changes? Yes, they are. Arsenal now calling on options to see this game through. It is going to be Alessia Russo to make way for Stina Blackstenius. Russo scoring Arsenal's third at the very start of the half. A brilliantly taken finish. A superb player. A player that is playing at the ability right now that deserves to be into a Champions League final. Russo then replaced by Blackstenius. And then it will be Beth Mead coming on. And Mead will be replacing Chloe Kelly. Good performance from Kelly, who has played really positively. And now Beth Mead will go on there and help Arsenal see this result till the end. Frank, welcome to the stream, is just shocked. Love it. I think a lot of people are just absolutely stunned. But Arsenal doing well. I think they're two subs that are just going to keep that energy levels up, keep that press up, and help them see this result through. As Dennis says, Steed is a very, very good option to have off that bench. And Russo and Kelly, they've played very well for 70 minutes, but you want to bring on fresh legs, you want to bring on energy. And Blackstenius and Mead do that. Endler then with the ball for Lyon. And now you feel like this is a comeback that is even too much of an ask for a side like Lyon. 3 goals in 18 minutes, it would be quite something. Especially the way that Arsenal are playing. Long ball from Arsenal, pounced on by Carpenter. One back by Marnham. Blackstenius tries to flick it round the corner. Misses it though, and Endler will come out and get it. She sends it long into Le Sommer, who brings it down well. Has a shot that is dragged wide of the mark though. And that will go out for a goal kick. And I think there's a bit of a stunned silence around the ground at the moment as Lyon fans watch on in disappointment but also shock. I don't think a single Lyon fan turned up to this match thinking that this was even a possibility. Yet Arsenal have absolutely stunned them. Long ball down the line looking for Ford. Will run through though to Endler, who again looks to get this going quickly. Lot to unpack from this, and we will be doing that in a video in next week. But right now, I think Arsenal fans should just enjoy the moment. And I will see through the 17 minutes. Ball through from Van der Donk. Will find Le Sommer. One back brilliantly by Kim Little. Mead, dispossessed by Batcher, pulls her back, and that will be a Lyon free kick. A set piece is a chance, potentially, for Lyon to put some pressure onto this Arsenal backline. Batcher just wins it off Mead, and with a tug of the shirt, Beth Mead pulls back the Lyon left back. Double change then coming for Lyon. This is going to see Egarola come off and also see Wendy Renard come off. So Marajan and Sombath are coming on for Renard and Egarola. So Leon just making changes. They're not necessarily changes that are going to win them the game. They're just bringing fresh legs on now. I think even they know there's no point of throwing attackers at it now. Ball in from Batcher, cleared away. Falls to Van der Donk. Carpenter. Batcher swings it in. It's not a bad ball, but that will go straight into the arms of Van Domselaar, who will fall to the ground and will take her time. Everyone loving life. I'm not so Arsenal fans should really be enjoying this moment. It's been a season of ups and downs, but this is certainly the highest point of the whole campaign. Dumonet gives it to Madri. Good footwork. Trying to run past Fox. Fox sees her out there, and that will be a goal kick. Watching back the Gilles error then that led to the fourth goal. Lyon goal kick. Play it short. Gilles falls over the football. Gives it to Ford, who makes no mistake. And you feel that was a defining moment in this game, because even with Arsenal 3-0 up, and only a 2-goal margin, that was potentially surmountable for Lyon. But Gilles falling over, Ford taking advantage and putting Arsenal 3 goals up on aggregate really killed this game. And again, Lyon, individual errors, an own goal for the first one, handing Arsenal the fourth has massively let them down. But again, Arsenal, the pressure, the energy, the level today that they've brought into this game has been absolutely superb. And they deservedly lead 4-0. It's not been one of those games where it's 4-0, but it probably could have been a little bit more competitive. Arsenal deserve to be 4-0 ahead. And they cut there to Joe Montemiro. I would love to know what he is thinking right now, because his Lyon side have been superb all season. They've played team after team off the park, and then suddenly they have completely folded against Arsenal. And he will be frustrated because he's returned to Lyon this season with an ambition to win everything. And not only have they, this isn't getting knocked out, this is crashing out of the Champions League. Absolutely battered in front of their home crowd. And that is something that is going to give him a lot to think about, I think. I think Batcher's just going around trying to foul and be fouled as much as possible. Just running around crazy, just. I don't really know what she's doing. It's irrational. It's reckless. Ball in from Dumonet, headed away by Catley. How many times have I said that today? Steph Catley's been immense, and so has Williamson, to be fair. Arsenal defensively, across the board, have been superb. McCabe has been so much better. Discipline has been superb. Her positioning has been incredible. Marked improvement from the first leg. Lyon, cross isn't good enough, and Arsenal look to counter. Blackstenius running at Sombath. Goes across to Marnham. Marnham heavy touch. That's pounced on by Gilles. Diani. Ball laid into Madri. Back to Diani. Here's Le Sommer. Loses it though, and Arsenal will now come the other way with Beth Mead. Mead across to Marnham. Marnham looks to find Stina Blackstenius, but Gilles will get there. Carpenter. Gilles. Across to Sombath. Bryson says, are we no living with Arsenal fans after this? Yeah. This was Chelsea were the ones who were destined to get to the final. Chelsea are the ones who have been eyeing up a quadruple and people backed to potentially be their year. But yet, Chelsea were torn apart and embarrassed by Barcelona, and Arsenal have absolutely battered one of the best sides in the world. That is quite the statement from Slagers and Arsenal. Quite the statement. They've proved a lot in this game. They really have. Especially the reaction from the first leg has been just miles better. Dumoulin puts the ball in, cut out by Steph Catley. Steph Catley has been absolutely phenomenal. Has not put a foot wrong in this football match. Here's Gilles. Across to Dumoulin. Back to Sombath. Batcher. And you thought with the return of Renard, with Hegerberg leading the line, Lyon might even look stronger. But that has not happened. Arsenal going forwards again. Big tackle that from Marajan to stop Marlon from progressing. Carpenter looks to play Dumoulin in down the right. Will she get there? Yes, she will. This is a chance for Lyon. Cuts it back. It puts too much on it. Marajan can't get there and it's cleared away by Van Domselaar. Carpenter into Marajan. Sombath. Van der Donk. Plays it beautifully through the gap into Carpenter. Carpenter swings it in. Not a bad ball. Will fall to Dumoulin and she's got one back. Lyon have a goal. And well, time is running out. But the deficit closes to 2. And with 10 minutes to play, have Lyon got a fight left in them. And I'm sure that will add to the nerves of the Arsenal fans. It's really good football down the right-hand side. And Dumoulin smashes it past Van Domselaar. But will it be enough? Will it mean anything for Lyon? They now trail 4-1 on the night. 5-3 on aggregate. Carpenter gets the ball in. It's the first time that a Lyon player has got to the cross first. Madry challenges with Little. Falls to Dumoulin. And Dumoulin volleys superbly past Van Domselaar. Is there enough time for Lyon to pull off something incredible? Van Domselaar takes too long, a little bit too long like that. Gets away with it though. And you never say never in football. We've got 9 minutes plus additional time. Lyon need 2 goals. It would be. Surely it's not possible. Surely. We'll have to wait and see. Arsenal, though, are the ones with the ball. That's exactly what they need to do. Get on the ball and keep hold of it. They're coming forwards and trying to increase their lead once again. But they've got to be careful they don't get dispossessed in this position. Because Lyon have now got a slight glimmer of hope. That's not a foul on Ford. Too soft. And now Lyon have it back. And now every time Lyon get the ball is absolutely crucial because what will they do with it? Gilles sends it up the pitch. Looking for Le Sommer, who will win the header and give it to Diani. Caldente, though, robs Diani of possession. Diani putting the pressure on. Oh, brilliant from McCabe. Steps into the gap and bursts away. McCabe will bring it forward. Releases it to Ford. To Little. Well judged. Goes backwards. This is better from Arsenal. Just keeping the ball. It is a simple case of if Arsenal have the ball, Lyon can't score. That's exactly the mindset for the Gunners now. If we have the ball, if Arsenal are in possession, then there's no way Lyon can score 2 goals. Lyon do win it back, though. Here is Diani. Diani skips past one. Brilliant. Gets to the byline. Puts it across. Blocked by Little. Lyon corner. And well. The nerves will be starting to kick in a little bit for Arsenal fans. Lyon with the corner. Nerves, I think, all around the ground. Arsenal in a good position. Lyon will be really hoping their side can pull off something incredible. Short corner. Ball swung in. It's not a bad one. It's flicked on by Marajan and it's over. Was that the chance? Was that the moment to get Lyon back in the game? Marajan flicks over from close range. It's a brilliant routine. Arsenal just do not react. And well, if that had gone in, that would have opened this game up. What a chance for Lyon. That is a massive moment because if that goes in, it would have suddenly been 5-4 with 6 minutes to play, plus additional time. That is a big miss from Marajan. Big miss. heart-in-mouth moment for Arsenal fans. Still 6 minutes to play, plus whatever will be added on. You expect quite a bit of added time. We've had a few goals. We've had a couple of injuries. We've had subs. Arsenal do want to keep the pressure on, forcing Gil to put it out for a throw. Dennis is spot on there. Game management is absolutely crucial now for Arsenal. Nothing silly. No rash decisions. No brave passes. Just get the basics right and don't give Lyon the ball. McCabe on the throw. Throws it into the corner. And Ford is going to hold this in the corner for as long as she possibly can. That was silly though. She's giving it away almost immediately. That was not the plan. Long throw. Put out again by Arsenal. Lyon are working it up the line. Carpenter throws it into Diani, who's somehow unmarked. How is Diani unmarked from a throw-in at this point in the game? Marajan comes the other way. Looking to find Dumoulin. Dealt with by Fox. Swept up by Madry. Ball put into the penalty area. No one's there for Lyon, but no one's there for Arsenal either. Batcher will recycle at the far post. Really good footwork. Tricky feet from the fullback. Puts the ball in, but that's not good enough. And that will go out for a goal kick. And again, that is another attack. That is another wave of pressure wasted by Lyon. And Arsenal fans will very happily watch that sail over the bar. 5 minutes away from the Champions League final. I don't think anyone who is associated with Arsenal Football Club expected this moment to come. And as expected, Frida Arnhem has hit the deck. Oh, she looks really injured. Oh, now she's going to have to hobble off. Brilliant. Dark arts from Arsenal. Again, so game management. Double change them for the Gunners. This is going to see Lotta Wubben-Moy and Kyra Cooney-Cross come on. And it will see Mariona Caldente and Frida Arnhem replaced. So, like for like in the pivot, with Cooney-Cross being a little bit more defensive than Caldente. And then Wubben-Moy is coming on as that extra centre-half as Arsenal just look to consolidate and hold on to this 2-goal advantage. It's exactly what they need to do. Slow it down, make changes, throw an extra defender on. Because Lyon are going to put them under the pressure now. And you feel Lyon's big moments are gone. That Marajan header on 83. That block shot on Diani in 85. And a yellow card is out. And I think this is towards Daphne Van Domselaar for taking too long. Yes, it is. Well, if it means Arsenal hold on and they waste more time, I don't think they'll complain. Long ball, held up well by Ford. Heavy touch though, pounced on by Marajan. Carpenter looks to come the other way, gives it to Diani, who tries to flick it back to Carpenter too quickly, and Arsenal turn the ball over. Big tackle from Van der Donk, and Arsenal have a throw. And well, if anyone thought Katie McCabe was going to take this very quickly, they would be very wrong. She's decided to go get a new football. Decided to go run up and down the line. Now she takes it, sends it up. Lyon win it back. Diani looks to go long. Le Sommer will spin. Wubben-Moy will get there. Goes back to Van Domselaar. Under pressure from Madry. Well released though. It's a good clearance. Mead can only flick it out for a Lyon throw, but it does send Batcher chasing towards the dugouts. 2 minutes to play plus additional time. It would be late for Lyon now, but we have seen stranger things happen in football. Ball long from Gil. Looking for Dumoulin. Header is won by Fox. Mead fires it into Blackstenius. Brilliant hold-up play from Arsenal. Looks to go back out wide to Mead, and she does get there. Beth Mead for Arsenal will run this into the corner. And will win a throw. Has lost a throw somehow. Under challenge from Sombath. And apparently that's a Lyon throw. Lyon looked to play out quickly. They've been dispossessed though. Little. Ford. I tell you what, the amount of times that Lyon have lost the ball from their own throw is ridiculous. It has happened time and time again in this match. that they'll throw it and then they'll just lose it. It's absurd. I've never seen a side lose the ball from so many throw-ins. It's crazy. Minute to play of the 90. I'm expecting 5, 6 added on. So there's, it's still some kind of time. But Marajan has given away a free kick hit on Cooley Cross. That's really clumsy. And this will give Arsenal plenty of time now to run the clock down. Here is Woobermoy. Dummies it. Smart. Again, really good management from Arsenal. No one deciding they want to take it. Little's now the one over it. She decides to go backwards to Williamson. Williamson fires it up the pitch. Ford slips over and Gilles will win the header. Diani. Back to Gilles. Gilles inside to Marajan. Approaching the end of the 90. How many minutes are we going to get added on? Batcher wins the follow-up. 5. 5 more minutes to play. Arsenal are 5 minutes away from the Champions League final. Lyon are going to need something extraordinary from here. Carpenter driving it forwards. Van der Donk flicks it back out wide to Carpenter. Good run, cuts it back to Diani. Big tackle that from Woobermoy. Huge tackle from Woobermoy. Arsenal will come forwards again. Now the ball's turned over by Gilles. Big tackle from Ford and that will be out for a Lyon throw. This is backs against the walls. His body's on the line from Arsenal, but it's working. It's superb football. Superb defensive performance. And McKay very smartly has won herself a goal kick there with a little nudge in the back. It's the dark arts, but it's working. It's just nailing it. Arsenal are nailing it in the last 10 minutes. They're measuring this perfectly. They haven't decided to sit in and just put everyone on their goal line, but they're being conservative. They're being smart. Another change then, and another defender coming on for Arsenal. Katie Reid is going to come on for Katie McCabe. So that'll see Catley go out to left back, and Reid come in as one of the 3 centre halves at the moment. And a good opportunity for her to come in with play 4 minutes of a Champions League semi-final. And again, this is just taking more time off the clock. Long ball from Woobermoy from the goal kick. Header won by Carpenter. Will fall to Blackstenius. Blackstenius back to Cooney Cross. Reid does win herself a throw. Takes it quickly, gives it to Blackstenius. Blackstenius flicks it up in the air. Ford will now run after it, puts Sombath under pressure. Goes back to Endler. Welcome everyone tuning in, by the way. Here is Batcher. As this game goes on. Van der Donk. Inside to Dumonet. Dumonet will switch it to Diani. That's a great ball. Diani now for Lyon up against Reid. Tries to beat her. Tries to get the ball in the box. It's on top of Van Domselaar, who does brilliantly to claim it. And she will fall to the floor. Brilliant goalkeeping that from Van Domselaar. Messy from Diani, but still managed to cause some kind of problem. But really, really brave goalkeeping that. 2 minutes to play. Arsenal have just got a hold on. Favourite of the match in the zone poll has gone to Mariona Caldente. Her strike was brilliant, but I think that's a little bit fortunate. Long throw from Catley, headed out and away by Gilles. Headed back towards her by Cooney Cross, and Gilles smacks it out of play. Arsenal now with another throw. Reid taking her time. Goes long into Blackstenius. Marajan wins it back and goes back to Endler. Minute to play, and Arsenal will just see this through. Batcher into Dumonet. Inside to Van der Donk. Here is Gilles. Plenty of space on the left, as you can see. Vibacha decides to go inside to Diani. Marajan round the corner to Carpenter. Leon still pushing. Carpenter puts it in. It's not a bad ball. Madry can't quite get there. Headed out and away by Little. Mead will put it out for a throw. Arsenal defending superbly. Leon keeping the pressure on. Not sure what the referee's unhappy about. Oh, they're checking something in the penalty area, I think. Well, this would be... Shouldn't matter too much. The ball goes in from Madry. Towards Madry. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at there. If anything, it was handball by Madry, was it not? But a potential penalty check. I'm really not sure what this is about, to be honest. I've watched the replay and I don't see anything wrong with it. This. They're still having a look. I have no idea what they're looking at. Let's have a look here. Oh yeah, no, that is handball from Beth Mead. When the ball first comes in, it hits Beth Mead on the hands. That is going to be a penalty. I think it will be a penalty. The problem is we're now now into the 95, 96, and we're waiting for a VAR check. I think this will be given as a Lyon penalty. Still await any of the decision. They're still having a look. I'm not quite sure what the... No, we're playing on. I'm not sure how we're playing on. I've just watched that hit Beth Mead's hand, but we're going to move on. Batcher puts the ball in, deflected and away by Little. Batcher again. Was she brought down? No, that was pathetic. Madry recycles it. Ball in. Overhead kick from Le Sommer and it goes over. And that will probably be Lyon's last attempt of the match. An overhead kick for Le Sommer, Russo and Marlon. I'm not sure they're laughing at that, but they're having a great time on the Arsenal bench. But the penalty not given. Surprising, but at this point in the match, it shouldn't matter too much. The ball goes long, looking for Blackstenius. Headed up by Gilles, flicked round the corner by Diani. Here is Madry. Dinks it over to Carpenter. Carpenter looks to keep it alive as Reed put it out for a corner. I'm so confused. Someone's ran over to the corner to go talk to the lineswoman. Think it's been given as a goal kick. No, it has been given as a corner. Endler's in there for Arsenal. Surely the last kick of the game. Ball into the box. Endler heads it in. Blackstenius will let it bounce. Will see it into the corner. Will smash it into the stands. And that is it. Arsenal have done it. They've completed the comeback and they will be in the 2025 Champions League final. A brilliant, brilliant performance from the Gunners. They have surprised everyone and played Lyon off the park. 4-0 in their own backyard. An incredible performance from Arsenal. And they rightfully will have a chance to win their second Champions League title. They will take on Barcelona in May. A brilliant, brilliant performance. And credit to Arsenal, credit to René Slagers, because that was phenomenal. They were brilliant. They outclassed Lyon from start to finish. And a Lyon side who didn't turn up, who were absolutely shocking. But Arsenal took full advantage. They put that Lyon backline to the sword. 5-3 on aggregate, 4-1 on the night, and Arsenal are into the Champions League final. What a performance. Absolutely brilliant. And they now will be in Lisbon in May and will take on Barcelona, who battered Chelsea this afternoon. And now Arsenal, who are the only English side to win the Champions League title, will have another opportunity to go and win it again. And while a lot of people thought it would be Chelsea, the ones pushing for the title, everyone thought it would be Chelsea, Lille and Barcelona. No one saw Arsenal being in the final. They have stunned everybody today. Not just by reaching the final, but by the performance, by the attitude, and by the manner in which they have won this football match. 4-0. 4-1, sorry. Lyon did get a goal, but they trailed They lost the first leg 2-1, and everyone thought that was that. A lot of people thought Lyon were already through. We knew it would be competitive. But wow. Arsenal fought, Lyon won. They win 5-3 on aggregate, and Arsenal are through to the Champions League final. It will be Arsenal taking on Barcelona on the 24th of May. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in today. Brilliant support from Arsenal. Congratulations to all of you supporting the Gunners. Brilliant to tune in. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a brilliant stream. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And credit to Arsenal. That was just an incredible performance. And for them to, I don't think anyone, at the start of the season, no one saw them as getting into the Champions League final. And let alone beating Lyon 4-1. So, incredible stuff. And you know, all the fans should be enjoying it because that was a superb performance. And Arsenal are back in the Champions League final when no one expected it. So it's a credit to them. UEFA Women's Champions League final, 24th of May, Arsenal versus Barcelona. Well, that will be one hell of a game. But this has been a brilliant stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the nice messages. It's been absolutely brilliant. One last call. If you are tuning in for the first time today and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We are closing in on 3.5k. It'd be great to hit it by the end of the stream, by the end of tonight. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot. We've got loads of content coming your way this week and until the end of the season. We've got the Euros in the summer. So please do make sure to subscribe and join the community. But what a performance from Arsenal. Lyon, a lot to discuss. We'll be back in the week to break down the game, to analyse the match. So if you are an Arsenal fan, make sure to stay tuned for that coming next week. But that is all from me today. Great to have you all in this stream with me. Arsenal fans, go and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sure that this is probably one of the best days to be an Arsenal fan over the last few years. And definitely the highest point for the women's side in years. So credit to them. Arsenal are Champions League finalists. They will join Barcelona in a month's time to decide who will win the Champions League. But that is everything from me today. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.